in from Facebook or YouTube, please say your salams in the comments below and let us know where you're coming in from. And if you have questions for you guys on Facebook and YouTube, please do leave them for the very end so that I don't lose them and miss them in the whole in the rush of things, and I won't miss them in the comments. I see Sheikh Omar, you're already with us. If you'd like, you can quickly test your camera to make sure everything's going well. Otherwise, inshallah, we'll kick off in a couple of minutes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. How are you doing?
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm well. So I actually, this is not to pick on you. I have a tendency to do this with all the instructors, but I came across in the depths of the Facebook universe a video of, I forget what this ICN youth mosque or center or whatnot of yourself and Sheikh Muslih or Tariq Muslih taking 12 minutes to get a live stream going.
Oh man.
Like,
yeah,
that's a second.
We're not the most technologically savvy, and so trying to like combine between Facebook, Instagram, we don't have that expertise, but 12 minutes was not bad. Was not bad.
That's it. I was like, they got to figure this out at some point. I was like, someone mute something, and it just kept going and going. And mashallah, though, I did like the display of patience that both of you had during the process. But I was like, you know what? I do something. My job does matter. If you guys need a moderator after Ramadan 360, let me know, inshallah.
Inshallah, for sure. Sounds good.
It's just Suleiman, I see that you're in as well. I believe you're all good to go as well. Would you guys like to do a gallery style, or would you like to do it one by one? How would you prefer, inshallah, for your sessions?
I think gallery is good for today.
Yeah, I think gallery is better. Yeah.
Awesome sauce, perfect.
So they can constantly see Sheikh Omar, inshallah.
So I was gonna say it's raining here, so we need some brightness in the room.
Oh my God, this love story, mashallah. But everyone else, it's 1 minute till we start the session officially for day 26 of Ramadan 360 programming. Our first session, of course, is going to be on the 27th night. I have tons of questions, as I was mentioning earlier, to our Faith Essentials audience about this myself. I was wondering if this is like a cultural thing, that there's so much emphasis on the 27th night, the authenticity of it. I'm sure most of my questions, inshallah, will be asked in the talk or answered in the talk itself, inshallah. So I'll try to keep myself shut. Actually, you know what? I used to be a kid, Sheikh Suleiman and Sheikh Omar, I don't know. I used to go and my parents would volunteer at the mosque, so we'd be there all the time. And I used to get so mad that, people wouldn't show up at all for the entire month. And then for one night of the year, they're like taking my prayer space and they're being so rude and they're whatnot. I'm just really, I hope this justifies their behavior for my entire childhood on the 27th night, inshallah. Everyone else, please, I see that you're chiming in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi Zafar, Farisa, Jasna. Inshallah, it is 4 o'clock. So we will kick off the session officially. I do want to announce and thank our amazing sponsors for today, ICNA Relief in the USA. They've been supporting tens of thousands of individuals who've been victims of not only COVID-19, but of the economic issues that have resulted from it. And we're so grateful for the amazing work that they're doing on the ground. We're looking forward to a brief presentation from them as well. Please do support them. We have a link in the bio that you can visit and quickly show them some love, inshallah. But without further ado, I'll pass it off, inshallah, to Sheikh Suleiman Hani, who you're very familiar with, alhamdulillah, and our amazing guest, Sheikh Omar Hedroug, talking about the 27th night. If you do have questions, actually, just before I do pass off, please submit them in the Q&A box or save them till the end. We will have a Q&A portion at the end of the session. Bismillah, Sheikh, I'll pass it off to you.
Jazakumullah khairan. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who benefit from what we hear. Allahumma ameen. Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh Omar, for joining us once again. It's an honor, alhamdulillah, for the
Good to be back. It's good to be back.
Barakallah feek. So let's get right into it, inshallah. 27th night is around the corner, and a lot of people do take more advantage of 27th night, while others might not know why it's emphasized maybe slightly more amongst the community, let's say in general around the world. We noticed this observation that was just mentioned. More people go to the masjid, more people put in effort, more people are making dua, more people are praying, and so on and so forth. So why is it so important? 27th night. Let's dig right in, inshallah.
Bismillah. Let's go. So it's interesting. It's interesting. It's something that Sister Hafsa was mentioning, that when she was talking about it, it brought back those memories of I remember I never had seen the masjid so crowded in my life as the 27th night. I think that year, one of the years, it was also like a Friday night or a Thursday night. So there was that aspect to it. And I just remember coming to the masjid and expecting it to be crowded. But at the masjid that we were at, it's a masjid in a school. And so you have the entire, forget the main hall of the masjid being full. Like that was full maybe at Maghrib time, right? But you have the main hall full, you have the basement full, you have upstairs full, you have the gym in the school full, you have the classrooms in the school full. I remember praying in one of the classrooms in the school. Like, I'm like, am I even in the same masjid anymore? Am I even like, is this has anything to do with the imam? So it's just an amazing sight to see. So many people come out and so many people seek the night of Qadr on, one of the odd nights, and in particular the 27th night. And I remember seeing some stuff from you and some of the stuff that you mentioned, and just in general, why the 27th night? And is it a cultural thing? Do we have precedents for it? And I think I'll let you speak more to the discussion surrounding it, but definitely it's one of the probable nights of Qadr. There's no doubt about that. And it is one of the opinion, I think the majority of scholars who identify a specific night, they identify the 27th night. And I think even Ubay radiallahu anhu would swear by Allah that it was the 27th night. And so in terms of precedence from our tradition, there's no doubt that there is precedence there, and that it is a special night for sure.
Barakallahu feek. It's an interesting story, subhanAllah. Masjid getting packed. I think a lot of people can relate to that. Masjid jam-packed, everyone's out, and usually the dua maybe is a little longer. A lot of masajid have programs. One of the things that used to bother me when I was younger was hearing them say with certainty, like on the microphone at Maghrib or Isha, they would be like, donate because tonight is Laylatul Qadr. And I'd be like, how do you know? And in my mind, I first of all, I had no idea there might be an opinion that this is the most emphasized of the odd nights. And I like what you said, that it's a likely candidate. It's a likely candidate. And some scholars say it's the likeliest candidate amongst the odd nights. So we say like Ubay bin Ka'b, like you mentioned, he swore that Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu knew that it was the 27th, but did not tell them because he didn't want people to become lax or lazy on other nights.
Yeah.
The Prophet ﷺ told us with regards to not knowing when Laylatul Qadr is, perhaps that's better for you. And that's because we all know ourselves. If we knew for sure it was on any one of these nights with 100% certainty, we would likely put in a lot less effort on the other 9 nights. I speak for myself. I think we all know that if we knew for sure and Laylatul Qadr was just a one-time thing, like the day of Arafah, for example, we would put in more effort on the day of Arafah than the days before and after, as many people do during Dhul Hijjah. So it's a blessing that we don't know for sure with 100% certainty, because we don't want to take a 1% chance that we're missing an unimaginable amount of rewards and ajr and all of that. So that there's precedence to it, but still we emphasize to people, while you take advantage of tonight as much as you can, it's still not a matter of ijma'. Like there's still a very valid difference of opinion amongst the scholars, and that's why they say, like you said, probable or likely candidate for Laylatul Qadr. Some scholars like Imam Nawawi rahimahullah, I believe, they held the opinion that it changes every year, which is its entire other discussion, Allahu alam. So significance of this night, I think it goes without saying that it's not just a matter of the reward greater than 83 years of worship, which I mentioned this in one of the discussions before. There's like an infinity context to it, saying khayru min alfi shahr. It's not just this is greater than an entire lifetime in terms of time, duration, effort. This is something that some scholars say amongst the Arabs of the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they would say, I will be your friend for alfi shahr, forever, meaning I'll always be your friend. So it's as though it's emphasizing that this is something greater than a lifetime's worth of living in this world, even if it's forever. So we really can't miss out on this night. And the angels coming down and saying salam to the believers wherever they see them worshiping, in their homes, in the masajid. And now, most people are in their homes, all over the home. Imagine angels just jam-packing the traffic within your home, saying salam, watching the believers, testifying, listening to their recitations, their Quran, their repentance to Allah, their begging of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a beautiful thought, and we definitely don't want to miss out on it.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people worry when it comes to being very practical, worry about taking advantage of this night when they might have uh, children, they might have other commitments, they might be exhausted because they worked all day and barely just made it till Maghrib. Um, what would you say maybe are some things we can keep in mind or share with others that are very practical tips to take advantage of this night like no other night?
Yeah, so I think I love that that you mentioned that, how just this idea of um, if we knew for sure when it was, how we would emphasize that day like we do with Arafah. And I think that's a beautiful way to look at it. And I think the first step to practically taking advantage of it is recognizing the value in it, right? Recognizing the value. And yes, we don't know the exact night. And we talked about like the 27th night being a likely candidate, but for sure, it's not something that we can say definitively. And it seems, and Allah knows best, that we can say definitively that we don't know when it is, right? That's one thing we can say. But what the Prophet ﷺ did for us, and what we have, is that we have all of the nights of the year narrowed down to 10. And then those 10 narrowed down even further to the odd nights. And then even further than that, to live in the moment that we're in now. So what has passed already is past. Those nights have passed. Whether it was Laylatul Qadr or whether it wasn't, we don't know. And we can't say for sure. And we can't control anymore what happened in those nights. But what we can do is from today, from right now, from what we have left in the last 10 nights, from what we have left in the odd nights, from tonight being a night that is so emphasized, and that is a possible night, a likely night, that we recognize the value that we've been given by being able to participate in this night and to engage this night. And so just recognizing the value of the moments, and not worrying so much about what has passed, and not worrying so much about what's to come, but focusing on the now, and saying and preparing yourself mentally right now. I mean, there may be places that are listening right now that are already in the nighttime, right? But for those of us who are here and it's still not yet that night, to prepare yourself mentally from now to have even a plan of action of what you want to accomplish, what you want to do, of taking what you have done from the past and building on that. This worked for me, when I took a nap in the day and I was ready for the night more. This didn't work for me when I was maybe around more people or whatever it may be. So really kind of using what has already passed in the past few nights and kind of assessing yourself and seeing, what can I do, or what have I done that works? What can I do to improve? And then setting for yourself that plan of action. So valuing it, and then planning for it, and then recognizing that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful in bringing us to this night. And that in and of itself gives us the motivation to not push ourselves beyond our capacity, but to at least say, you know what, I've been given this opportunity, I've been given this amazing chance, and the night is literally only a few moments, right? How quick have the nights already passed, and how quick do these few hours that are literally moments pass? And then saying, you know what, so I'm going to try to push myself a little bit more than I normally do, and get through kind of those obstacles, that tiredness. Yes, we have, commitments, but then turning all of those things into our favor. And I think one of the greatest ways to do that is through our intention as well. And so valuing it, recognizing the opportunity in it, and then turning everything in this night into an action of worship, including our commitments, including our responsibilities. Like you said, if people have children, people have, things that they need to be, that need their attention, that they're not maybe able to spend an entire night in a way that they ideally want to, or they ideally think they should, but then turning even those responsibilities, those times maybe of a little bit rest to kind of, get yourself recharged again, even those can become rewardable through intention. And so there's a lot of ways that we can practically kind of benefit from this night that don't maybe always look like what ideally we think it should look like.
Barakallahu feek, I agree with everything said, Sheikh. Especially with regards to it seems simple and it seems very direct and blunt. But the advice of push yourself on this night like no other night. That's really what it is. And while of course we emphasize push yourself on this night more than any other night, it does go back to the intention that you tried your best, you did your best. Something that helps. Sheikh Hamad Sharif was posting about this a few days ago. And I agree with this. I think this helps a lot of people with regards to clarity. Have some plan going into it. Have a checklist of sorts. I want to accomplish all these things on this night. I want to accomplish this tonight. And if in your situation, you really genuinely do not have, let's say more than an hour, 2 hours, for some reason, if that is the case, still have a checklist for the things you do want to accomplish within the 2 hours that you're awake, or the 1.5 hours that you're awake. Take advantage. There really is no other way to put this. I gave the analogy, I think last week or a few days ago. If someone told us this was $1 billion and there is a chance that it's on this night and it's a likely candidate for the $1 billion, I think most people would put aside everything for the $1 billion, even their own kids, even their own family. Somehow they would manage. So this is beyond worldly things. It's beyond, $1 billion. It's beyond $1 trillion. It's more than a lifetime's worth of worship. And the angels are coming down looking for the people who are taking advantage of this night and saying salam to them. Salam, salam. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Salamun hiya hatta matla' al-fajr. So take advantage, push yourself as much as possible. Have a plan going in the same way that when something important is coming around, you have a plan for it. This is the most important day or night of the year. And for some of us, it might be the most important night of our lifetimes. We don't know if we'll ever have this opportunity again. And even if we had this opportunity again next year, we don't know that we would take advantage of it like we did or will, inshallah, tonight. Sheikh Omar al-Ashqar, rahimahullah, passed away in 2012 in Ramadan. I remember when I first heard the news, and it was, I believe, on the 21st night of Ramadan, around Fajr time, actually. And so we might make it to tonight, we might not. If you make it to tonight, make it your last night. You make it tomorrow night, make that your last night. Just take advantage. You really don't know when we'll leave this world. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us and to give us that strength to push. It's really a blessing upon a blessing upon a blessing that we're even here, alhamdulillah. We can't emphasize this enough. And the opportunity that we have here is bringing us, to the question of value, the question of motivation. What helps some people, since you mentioned know its value, Sheikh, what helps some people is to, if people like to be efficient and planning and all of this, is to maybe sit down and list out some of the reflections they have on Laylatul Qadr, some of the things they find with regards to its value, and then a list of motivations to take advantage of tonight. Why do I want to push myself tonight? Why does this matter so much? That list might help someone who starts burning out maybe halfway through the night. Get back to your list. Remember, this is something that it's temporary. It's one night. Push yourself, and then tomorrow night remind yourself again, and so on and so forth. Wallahu a'lam. What about practicality? So know the value of it. A list of motivators. Understand that fattaqullaha mastata'tum. Be conscious of Allah within your circumstances. Some people will have less time than others, but push yourself within your time. Have a plan going in, some kind of checklist, perhaps. Some people want to pray 8 rakahs, make a lot of dua. Some people want to save their dua, and this is something we encourage for the last third of the night, right? So they might pray qiyam throughout the night. They might do Quran. They might give sadaqah manually, online, in person, if possible. And then the last third of the night is really the crux of it all. Like make all the dua that you need to make in terms of maybe even witr prayer. If anyone is not able to pray during this time, then make a lot of dua. I think we agree that the emphasis, if someone cannot pray, but the emphasis is on qiyam, is on dua. So try to pray if you can. If someone is unable to pray, any of our sisters are unable to pray as well, make as much dua as you can tonight. This is really the crux of it all, between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that divine link. And I would even say that if someone has family around and they're praying with family, like qiyamul layl and maybe even witr, still take time alone and go make dua alone. I would say this is something that should be emphasized tonight more than any other night. Wallahu alam. What are some of your thoughts on that, Sheikh?
No, for sure, for sure. I mean, this is really, uh, your opportunity. Like you said, maybe a once in a lifetime opportunity to really have this chance and this connection to just pour your heart out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, uh, if your Ramadan started from today, if your Ramadan started from today, and in essence, for many of us, that may be the case in the sense that what has already passed has passed. And alhamdulillah, whatever you did of good, may Allah accept. But maybe that you haven't taken advantage of it as much as you want to, as much as you had hoped for. If your Ramadan started right now, started today, what would it look like, or what would you want to accomplish from it, that at the end of it you can say, alhamdulillah, I was able to put forth some effort, I was able to accomplish some of what I wanted to do. That can start from right now. And the value of this 27th night that's here, and the value of the remaining moments of Ramadan, is this opportunity to end with excellence. And it's not about how you started, but it's about how you finished. One of the scholars, he said, ليست العبرة بمن سبق ولكن العبرة بمن صدق. He says it's not about who beat you to what, and you look back and you say, man, this person, they told me they finished the khatma of the Quran, they finished 2, they did this, they took advantage of their night. I've been busy, I haven't been able to fully partake in it for this commitment or that commitment, or maybe just out of laziness, whatever it may be, right? At this point now, and this is this idea of like being in the moment, living in the moment, taking advantage of it. Say that your Ramadan is starting from right now, and what can you do to make it successful, so that by the end of Ramadan, when it's Maghrib and the day of Eid and the night of Eid starts, that you can look back and say, you know what, I ended alhamdulillah in a way that I feel this contentment, that inshallah it's something that I started a path back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I made some progress on that path back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So really, the advice to myself, and I think in general, is just to be in the moments, and to focus on the here and the now. And one of the greatest ways to do that is to take advantage of this night that comes through, like you said, through that dua, through that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the salah, if you're able to, through the recitation of the Quran, whatever is going to give you that feeling of connection. A lot of times people ask, what's better? Is it better to do this action or that action? And like you said, for sure, it's the qiyam, if you're able to, is the priority, because the qiyam combines between dua, it combines between reading Quran, and it combines between salah. But if you're not able to do that, right, then for sure that dua, but also to be able to kind of vary and diversify what you're doing, to be able to feel that connection, that connection of the heart, is what we're seeking, is what we're kind of emphasizing here, to do our best to be in that service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and take advantage of the time that we have.
SubhanAllah. It's amazing to think about so as people are making dua tonight, and of course throughout the day as well, and throughout the coming days, but it's amazing to think about the blessing of having so many angels come down on one night. So many angels coming down. And one of the beautiful gems with regards to Surah Al-Qadr, تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَالْرُوحُ فِيهَا, is that usually you would think this would be تَتَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. And one of the gems that I saw in tafsir here was that, for example, Surah Fussilat, تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ أَلَّا تَخَافُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا. So people are dying constantly. In that context, تَتَنَزَّلُ was throughout the year, تَتَنَزَّلُ, all the time, angels serving the angel of death, constantly taking people's souls. Whereas Laylatul Qadr is a one-time thing, once throughout the year. تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. And then the second thing is, تَنَزَّلُ also emphasize, according to some of the classical tafsir, a quick and swift and secret type of coming down. We can't see the angels coming down. But I want us all to imagine our homes, and imagine, like even on the Zoom call, mashallah, around Sheikh Omar, the angels are coming down looking for what's these types of gatherings. And we have now virtual gatherings, right? We have virtual gatherings where the angels are going to people individually in their homes who are listening to these lectures, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and perhaps testifying to that and testifying to all that's going to happen tonight. So an abundance of angels coming down, taking permission from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so they can come and greet us. Angels taking permission, bi'idhni rabbihim, coming down just to greet the believers. Is that not an honor for us? And amongst them, of course, this is emphasized, Jibreel alayhi salam. So it's not just angels coming down. If Jibreel alayhi salam is coming down, then you can imagine all types of other angels are coming down. So we really can't imagine what's happening in the world of the unseen right around us. And that's why whoever takes advantage of this night, iman and wahtisaban, with faith, with belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with iman, and that iman includes iman in the unseen, for the reward and for the angels surrounding you, and for the reward of Jannah, not being able to physically with your eyes see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you know the reality of worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The end result is all of your previous sins are forgiven. There's nothing greater than that. We really can't miss out on this opportunity. So the angels are excited to come down, meet the believers in all forms of worship. As you mentioned, Sheikh, like salah is the number one priority because it combines everything. On this night, if you can combine salah, qiyam, or Quran and dua, especially a lot of dua in your sujood, then take advantage. You might be physically in the lowest position in sujood, but you're in the highest position in terms of your reward and your connection with Allah. Prophet ﷺ said, أَقْرَبُ مَا يَكُونُ الْعَبْدُ مِنْ رَبِّهِ وَهُوَ سَاجِدٌ فَأَكْثِرُ الدُّعَاء. The closest a servant is to Allah is when they are in prostration, sujood. So increase your dua in sujood. So we take advantage of every sajda as though it's your last. Take advantage of every sajda as though it is your last. And the angels, when they're coming down on this night or the following nights, if Laylatul Qadr did not already pass, we understand that they're coming down for our own blessing, benefit, saying salam, for istighfar on behalf of the believers. So your dua is more likely to be accepted. Ask for everything and anything. And I think the emphasis on dua is one that cannot be overlooked. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us in the passage on Ramadan, the only place Ramadan is mentioned in the Quran by name. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. If my slaves ask about me, I am nearby. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not say فَقُلْ إِنِّي قَرِيبٌ, respond, I am nearby, as is usually the case with questions. I am nearby to emphasize how close Allah is. And there's only one condition here. أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. I respond to the one who calls upon me when they call upon me. So respond to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's invitation to you to take advantage of the reason He created you, especially starting tonight. And as you mentioned, Sheikh, there will perhaps be many people who maybe did nothing at all in Ramadan up to this point. Maybe they're just so disconnected, or they feel so distant from Allah, they didn't put in the effort to start. And maybe now, inshallah, the intention is there, the azima is there, the strong, magnified intention that tonight, you know what, actually I will start. I will take advantage. I know that Allah is forgiving. I know I need to make some changes in my life. I know I need to put some things behind. And if there's any night for me to start doing that, I can't miss out on this reward tonight. The one who misses out on the reward of Laylatul Qadr, whether it passed or it's tonight or a following night, the one who knows and misses out, really there is no one to blame but themselves. The one who knows and then still chooses to miss out, because it is an option. It is an option. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us and to accept from us. Allahumma ameen.
Ameen. Also, one thing that I was thinking about that's really cool is that we started this session talking about how like the 27th night usually in the masjid is like the most festive, right? And I remember growing up as far back as I could remember, like the 27th night was the night like you'd have to sign up to do i'tikaf, right?
Yeah.
Like and you'd have to it's a serious thing, as it should be, right? And it's like these are the conditions, and you have to be above this age and all these things. But on the 27th night, it's like the masjid is just open. It becomes like where you're seeing people and you're, I haven't seen this guy in forever, and you're catching up with him and catching up with people. And then the suhoor, it's like they go all out, and it's literally, it becomes like this festive atmosphere. And there's beauty to and like connecting with community and stuff. But within that, a lot of times you lose kind of the spirit of what it's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be like the greatest spiritual opportunity that you have. And so this opportunity maybe that we have now in this particular 27th night and in these last 10 nights is maybe a unique opportunity that we will never have again as well. So if this ends up being Laylatul Qadr on the 27th night, maybe for the first time, so many of us, if not most of us, will get to experience it in the way that it was meant to be experienced. Instead of becoming like a communal festival, it becomes really this great spiritual like win and opportunity. So that's another thing I think to consider, to maybe also kind of live in the moment and treat this as something unique, because it really may be the only time or the first time at least that we're getting this kind of an opportunity.
SubhanAllah, that's so true, Sheikh. That's a beautiful kind of like final point for us as we're wrapping up. Before I think there's going to be an intermission, inshallah, and then we're going to be coming back for Q&A. I think it's a beautiful reflection that we're kind of forced into this situation to disconnect socially, and I hope that people won't replace that with online social media for 2-3 hours during this night. This is the night in which you want to limit all types of worldly distractions, cut yourself off from as many things as possible, and just connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, connect with your ultimate purpose. Make a lot of dua, take time. And of course, this doesn't mean you can't breathe, you can't go to the restroom, you can't talk to your family. Do what you have to do, fulfill your commitments. But there's a lot less responsibilities in terms of distractions in the masjid during this era. And that's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a silver lining in all that's happening around us. Wallahu a'lam. So we want to take advantage, inshallah. We want to make sure that there's a plan going in. We want to be efficient. I would advise everyone, eat very light for suhoor, for iftar. I know that's difficult, but try to eat light and healthy for iftar. If you're a coffee drinker, I assume you're going to have coffee for iftar. It's a must for me. Inshallah, it'll be an act of worship. That caffeine will be blessed because you're using it for this odd night, inshallah. Wallahu a'lam. Final thoughts, Sheikhna, before we take this quick pause.
I think you got it. I think we covered it. Alhamdulillah.
Khair, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us all amongst those who strive on Laylatul Qadr, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who are accepted. Allahumma ballighna Laylatul Qadr waj'alna fiha min al-maqbulin. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to take advantage of every moment of the night, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who are forgiven and our du'as all accepted for the khair of this world and the khair of the next life. Allahumma ameen. We'll take inshallah a break and then we'll come back for Q&A bi'idhnillah. Jazakallah khair, Shaykh.
Beautiful. Jazakumullah khair for those reminders. I still have so many questions. So this is the opportunity for everyone to submit them in the, I feel like I have more than I started. So submit them in the Q&A box or on Facebook, inshallah, when we have a brief presentation. I've never heard the excuse of drinking coffee being ibadah, but I'm going to start using that as well now, inshallah, at least for tonight. And I do want to take a moment to thank once again our sponsors at ICNA Relief USA, who've made this entire beautiful community of Ramadan 360 and this family possible, alhamdulillah. And with that being said, they're going to have a brief presentation. I hope that you guys stick around and make sure that you're supporting them through this process. MashaAllah, they have been supporting on the forefronts of COVID-19 thousands, tens of thousands of Muslims and community members on the front lines. I'm constantly blown away that, mashallah, that a Muslim charity has been able to have this level of capacity to support a community. They've been in 242 cities in 26 states, over 72,000 families have been helped, and over 250,000 individuals, subhanAllah. And today we have the pleasure of being joined by Sheikh Shamikh Sahadat, who is the Southeast Regional Director for ICNA Relief USA. Their link is in the bio, it's icnarelief.org, so please do support them throughout this. And inshallah, he's going to give us a quick, amazing reminder on the topic as well before we segue to the Q&A. Please do take advantage of this time, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair for joining us, Sheikh Shamikh. I hope that you're doing well. I love the ICNA Relief background that you have set up once again. How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, everything is doing wonderful. Thank you guys so much. I've enjoyed listening to Sheikh Suleiman, Hani, and of course Sheikh Omar, mashallah. You guys have been doing a wonderful, amazing job out there in educating our students and educating individuals out there about this month, and especially in this last 10 days, and in particular the 27th night. Not to take away from what you guys have added, but just to add on top of this here, we are in the last home stretch of the month of Ramadan. These are just you're now counting the days and the hours, the minutes and the seconds, and this is what counts. And I love what Sheikh Omar mentioned before. He said, if you have not done anything before, there's always a point to begin, and now is the right time to begin, because we don't know if this can be the night. Tonight can be the night of Laylatul Qadr. We don't know which one it is, but if you have not done anything, put yourselves together, put your nafs together. You should do it within these last few nights, inshallah, and hopefully Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give you that blessings of Laylatul Qadr. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded us in the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Qadr, He says, Inna anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr, and He says, verily we have revealed it, meaning it is the what? The Quran. We have revealed this Quran in the night of power. Of course, the night of Al-Qadr is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referring to. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala posed a question. And He said, وَمَا أَدَرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. And what will explain to thee what this night of power is? What will explain to someone what this night of power? Because to us, this night is just like an ordinary night. But in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the eyes of the angels, in the eyes of the righteous people, this is the time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alfi shahr. That this is the night of power. The night of Al-Qadr is better than 1,000 months. Those of you who are listening out there, my beloved students, brothers and sisters, those of you who are listening out there, this can be our one and only chance that we will have in our lifetime to catch a night like this. There's no other night like this night that is going to be coming up. There's no other night like the night of Laylatul Qadr. According to most of the Mufassirin and some of the pious predecessors, some of them lean to say that maybe the 27th night is most likely the night of Al-Qadr. But again, we don't know, because Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, seek it in the 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, and 29th night. So we have a few days left in the month of Ramadan. We just have a few hours left. Make it the most meaningful hours. When you look at the organization, an ICNA Relief organization, and what we have done, subhanallah, and we have seen, as Sister Hafsa had mentioned, when it talks about the amount of people that we have served, this city, we have served over 242 different cities across 26 states that we have served individual. You're talking about over 26,000 plus iftar that we did. I know locally here in Atlanta, I tell you, every single night since the beginning of Ramadan, we have been doing a suhoor and iftar drive for 200 meals. Every single night in different masajids. Over 72,000 families we have served within these last couple of weeks. Over 72,000 families. It's about 250,000 individuals. Those of you who are listening and want to donate, you can go to icnarelief.org/donate. Donate whatever you can towards the organization. Donate it, because you know what? This can be our last Ramadan. You see how many people was with us this last year? How many people that we know personally that was with us, but unfortunately Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took them away back. And some of them must have had a zeal and they must have had an enthusiasm to reach the Ramadan. Some people right before Ramadan, they could not have reached it. Some people have reached the month of Ramadan, could not reach the last 10 nights. Those of us who are here today, those of us who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this ability to breathe, has given us this ability to be and to do His ibadah. This is a great ni'mah and an effort. This is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will multiply our deeds. Just like what He said in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 261. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah says, مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت 7 سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة والله يضاعف لمن يشاء والله واسع عليم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded us how He multiplies blessings. Leave aside just the month of Ramadan, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, any nafil action that you do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you as the blessing as if it's a fard action. And any fard action that you do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the blessing of 70 times or more. It is not too late to pay your zakat or your sadaqatul fitr or your fitrah. ICNA Relief Organization, we have taken these money and we have distributed it all throughout these states to individuals who are in need, to people who need it the most. Brothers and sisters, we don't need to look overseas. We need to look right here in our own backyards. When the Prophet ﷺ says you are not a mu'min, you are not a believer. If you go to bed filled and your neighbor goes hungry, who is your neighbor? Your neighbor, the people that's close to you within your cities. And this is what ICNA Relief has been doing. This is where the money has been pouring in. Those of you who have zakat and would like to donate the zakat, you can donate zakat, inshallah. Those of you who are, who would like to give you a sadaqatul fitr, you can go online and donate it. We are giving out the zakat and sadaqatul fitr to the needy families. And we are giving them not only to the needy families, but those who are within our own community. My dear respected brothers and sisters, when you look at this month, you look at a month of greatness. When you look at the last 10 days, you're looking at the last days of ibadah that we have, that we are going to focus towards Allah. When you look at catching the 27th night, imagine if you donate even $10 tonight. And I'm just giving you an example of $10. It is as if you have donated over $300,000. That's the blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the likeness of those who spend only for this, who spend their money for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like that grain of corn. One grain of corn. Imagine just one grain. And this one grain, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it grows into 7 ears. And each single ear has hundreds of grain. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and He says, Wallahu yudha'ifu liman yasha, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala multiplies and increases the reward for whom He wills. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is self-sufficient. The money will not benefit us. Ask a man on his dying bed what he wants the most. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that response in the Quran, chapter 63, verse number 10. وَأَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاكُم مِّن قَبْلِ أَن يَأْتِيَ أحدكم الموت فيقول ربي لولا أخرتني إلى أجل قريب فأصدق وأكن من الصالحين. My dear respected brothers and sisters, this ayah, Allah tells us that a man will say at the time of death, he will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for one thing and one thing only. This is why I'm saying give it before it is too late. On our deathbed, we will ask Allah. This person will say, ربي لولا أخرتني إلى أجل قريب. This person will say, oh my Rabb, give me reply for just a few seconds, just a few minutes, so that I can come back, فَأَصَدَّقَ وَأَكُمْ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. So I can come back and give my sadaqah and give my charity and be counted amongst those who are the righteous. These are the last 10 days. And Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to tighten his waist belt. And not only that, tightening his waist belt means that he would work extra hard. Every single night, donate something towards the organization so that you can gain the night of Laylatul Qadr. It is as if you have given that amount of money in the night of power that Allah multiplies it. Not only did He multiply it for you as if it's a fardhi, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the blessing of over 1,000 months. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَالرُّوحُ فِيهَا بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ أَمْرٍ. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, therein descend the angels, therein descends the malaika, the angels, and the ruh, and of course Jibreel alayhi salam, leading all of them, by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salam. What is their purpose? To give peace and salutation upon those people who have been doing this ibadah in these times, inshallah. May Allah bless our beloved shuyukh who are on this panel tonight, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless each and every one of you who have given and continue to give. Allahumma a'ati munfikan khalafan. Every single day 2 angels descend, according to Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and one angel will say, oh Allah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replace everything that you have given. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the understanding of these. May Allah multiply all of our actions in these last 10 days. May we catch the night of Laylatul Qadr, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the due reward that is due on us, inshallah, for these nights. Wa akhiru da'wa wa alhamdulillah. Barakallah.
Ameen, Ameen. Barakallah feekum. Jazakallah khair for the amazing work that you're doing and for partnering up. MashaAllah, you're not only supporting communities and the most vulnerable in those communities, but also building community with us at Ramadan 360. So Jazakallah khair for the amazing work. Again, the link is in the bio. It's pinned on Facebook and YouTube. Everyone show some love. And a little reminder, I know it gets repetitive when there's a lot. I know you've been asked so many times, but what I try to think and what I keep in mind whenever I hear another request or another, and this was so beautifully worded, mashallah, by Sheikh Samih, is that I don't think about the person asking, I think about Allah asking. And you always want to say yes when Allah is giving you an opportunity for khair, especially when you have so few opportunities left. Please say yes, support them in the description, the ICNA Relief ICNARelief.org, and may Allah reward you for it. Ameen. Jazakumullah khair for once again joining us, Sheikh Samih, and inshallah we'll see you later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I know you guys have been itching. I know some questions were submitted. I told you all to wait to the end, but I saw so many coming in. So Jazakumullah khair for all your enthusiasm. We'll jump right into the Q&A portion for the rest of the session. We'll try to squeeze in as many as we can, inshallah. So I'll have Sheikh Omar and Sheikh Suleiman join us again. The first question that was submitted super fast into the Q&A box was, for praying Qiyam, this is an interesting one. So for praying Qiyam, how is witr handled? If you pray 8 rak'ah and then pray the shafa, can you pray as many rak'ahs as you want until Fajr, and then before Fajr pray witr?
Sheikh Omar will answer that, inshallah. That's his area, mashallah.
Bismillah. Jazakallah khair. So the night prayer, as the Prophet ﷺ, he tells us, mathna, mathna. You pray 2 rak'ahs, 2 rak'ahs, 2 rak'ahs, and you can pray as much as you want. Obviously, the focus is on quality over quantity. And then we have the witr to end the night. So the witr, it can be the preferred time for it. If you know that you're going to stay up, for example, until Fajr, or you're going to be up before Fajr, is to delay it until the last part of the night before Fajr. But if a person prays witr, let's say, for example, they're praying with their family and their family wants to pray witr, then maybe they're going to go rest after, they want to pray witr together. You can pray witr with them. You can do a witr salah. Maybe you're leading it or you're praying behind them. You can pray that witr and then you can pray after. You just don't add another witr. So there's no only one witr in the night. You can't have 2 witrs in the night. But the idea is that the witr is the odd rak'ah, whether it's you pray it 1 rak'ah by itself, or whether you pray it as part of 2 additional rak'ahs, so it's 3. That's usually how it's prayed, either as 1 or either as 3. That's that special, or that's that ending salah that you end the night with, or that you have somewhere throughout the night. So yes, you can pray as many rak'ahs as you want after you pray your initial 8. Just pray 1 witr in the night, and Allah knows best. Sheikh Suleiman, if I didn't clarify that, we can maybe.
No, perfect. Barakallah feek. Someone is asking on that note how to pray witr and shifa. Some people think shifa is an entirely different prayer. Can you comment on that, Sheikh?
Yeah, so it's not an entirely different prayer. It's just shafa' just means even, and witr is odd. So it's combining the 2 rak'ahs with the 1 rak'ah in the different forms that are mentioned in how to pray witr. But again, even witr can be prayed as an individual rak'ah. So it's not a separate salah, but rather it's the even rak'ahs, the 2 rak'ahs that go with the 1 rak'ah of witr.
Jazakumullah khairan. I'm going to tackle some of the questions back to back from Zoom for both of us, Sheikh, inshallah. One of the questions is from a sister, how to make most of Laylatul Qadr on one's period. So the short answer is the only thing you cannot do is prayer, right? Aside from having access to tawaf, really the only thing you cannot do on this night is salah. So take advantage of every other type of act of worship. What might help is to have a checklist, a plan. What are you going to do on this night, on the following night, the night after that, and then to follow through with the plan. So if someone wants to spend 30 minutes, for example, an hour in solitude, facing the qibla, making dua, you can raise your hands while you're making dua, and having that solitude, try to focus on that, inshallah. A time for dhikr, you can recite Quran from memory. This is the opinion that I follow. You can recite Quran as well. So everything except prayer, wallahu alam. Sheikh Omar, another question, which is how to pray witr prayer in short. How do you pray witr prayer if someone is praying it for the first time?
Okay, so if you're praying witr for the first time and you're combining it with 2 rak'ahs, so let's say we're praying it as 3 rak'ahs, you can pray it. There's different forms. one of the forms is that you pray 2 rak'ahs, you give the salam, then you get up and you pray 1 rak'ah. Or you can do it, I'll mention 2 forms, the second, or you can just do 3 rak'ahs straight through, and you don't sit for tashahhud after the second rak'ah. You just sit one time at the end of the salah for the 3rd rak'ah. And in that rak'ah of witr, that last rak'ah, if you're praying it individually as 1, or if you're praying it as part of the 3, in that last rak'ah, you can make the dua of qunut. You can make dua there either before the ruku', but generally it's made after the ruku'. So when you stand back up from ruku' before you go into sujood, you can make your dua al-qunut in that part. That's in a summary how you pray witr.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. Quick question here. What kind of Laylatul Qadr do our loved ones have that have passed away? Is there anything special for them in the barzakh? I have not heard anything about this before. I don't know that there is anything specific that was mentioned. Allahu Alam. Sheikh, do you know if there's anything mentioned about this?
Same. I don't know of anything specific, but it is a good time for us to make dua for, relatives, loved ones who have passed. So the blessings of this night, inshallah, can reach them in terms of our dua and in terms of even sadaqah and these things.
Absolutely. Jazakallah khairan. Sheikh, a question for you. I heard that some masajid holding Khatm al-Quran on the 27th night, so the completion of the Quran. Is there any more barakah on finishing it exactly on the 30th night, and so on and so forth?
I think the barakah in finishing it later is that you're able to, give more time to the Quran, and it doesn't just stop on the 27th night. I think in a lot of places, you probably have seen it, where if they finish on a certain night, then after that night, the attendance just kind of just dies down. So in our community, for example, they used to finish on the 27th, but then people would stop coming, right? And so they switched to finishing it on the 29th. And there is some narrations that mention that on the completion of the Quran, that it's a time when the mercy descends, and it's a time of barakah. Anas radiallahu anh would gather his family and they would make dua upon the completion of the Quran. So it is a blessed time, and it's a blessed thing to be able to finish the Quran and go through it from beginning to end. But of course, any access with the Quran on any of the nights is something that's important, and that's blessed and beautiful.
Jazakallah khairan. Another question, is Laylatul Qadr the same day across the world, or could be different days, considering some places are a day ahead in Ramadan cycle? The short answer is we don't know enough about Laylatul Qadr to give a conclusive answer here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. If there are a large number of Muslims worshipping on a different night, and they followed, let's say, a valid opinion within fiqh, and Laylatul Qadr the odd nights end up being different nights than for us, they take advantage, they followed what they had to follow, and we assume that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward them, and Allah will reward us for following also a valid scholarly opinion. So ultimately we say, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from everyone. We hope that everyone will be accepted for following a scholarly opinion or a body of scholars where they live. Wallahu a'lam. Another question, Sheikh, here's a fiqh question, it's a little longer. Basically, if you start a prayer with only 1 or 2 minutes left before the adhan of Fajr, let's say Qiyamul Layl, will it count if you continue with it as the adhan comes in, even if you, let's say, pray the entirety of the salah? And here it's mentioned a 4 or 8 rak'ah prayer, although the emphasis is on 2 by 2. But let's say even a 2 rak'ah prayer, 4 rak'ah prayer, will they still be rewarded for the rest of it for praying it very slowly and taking their time?
Jamil, that's a nice loophole. I never thought of that one. So if you catch the first rak'ah in the time, like in the night before Fajr comes in, then inshallah that will count as part of the night. In terms of stretching it out and these things, Allahu a'lam, I'm not sure.
It's very common, the question of praying before the adhan comes in, like by, let's say, 30 seconds, a minute. I think what I know is what you mentioned as well, which is that if you already started that first rak'ah, then the salah counts for you. But should they be extending the salah? Should it be like slowed down, knowing that the adhan came in for, let's say, Fajr prayer?
Allahu a'lam. I don't think that that's something that we have precedence for. And so I think in that time, what's preferable once Fajr has come in, yeah, you can finish your salah, alhamdulillah, and accept it, but I think now once Fajr has come in, there's another fadila, another blessing of taking advantage of that time for those specific things of, the sunnah of Fajr and the Fajr salah and these things. So Allah knows best.
Jazakallah khairan, Shaykh. Is there any evidence in reading Surah Al-Ikhlas 11 times benefiting loved ones who passed away during these nights or in general? Thank you in advance. No, there is not. If there is anything like this, it would be based on a fabricated hadith or something extremely weak. I have not heard anything to this effect. Shaykh, anything you want to add to that?
Same.
Jazakallah khair. Someone asked, is it permissible for menstrual women to do sajid tilawa if she's reading the Quran on electronic device or from memory? That's for you, Shaykh.
Allah knows best. There's a lot of difference of opinion on sajda tilawa. Does it have the same conditions as sajda in salah? And I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't want to give an answer based off something that I'm not sure about. If you follow the opinion that it has the same conditions as sajda in salah, so wudu and qibla and these things, then it would follow that a woman on her menstrual cycle would not do sajda tilawa. But if you follow the opinion that it's a completely separate thing that doesn't have the conditions of salah, then it would be okay in that case. But Allahu alam, I'm not sure.
Jazakallah khairan. The opinion that I follow on this, so I agree with all that you said, Sheikh. It basically comes down to what you believe with regards to the rulings of sajda tilawa, is that it is not it's not part of a salah, so it does not require wudu. In some cases, maybe even facing the qibla. So it'd be permissible for a woman to also do sajda tilawa, Allahu alam. But that's one of the opinions. There are other existing opinions out there. How can these signs of Laylatul Qadr, such as rain, smooth wind, quiet night, the rays of the sun, apply on every place on earth? Because it's a bit difficult, is it not? Again, with regards to Laylatul Qadr, we don't know ultimately. It could be, and this is something some scholars have commented on before, it could be that Laylatul Qadr occurs in different ways, in different times, in different regions of the world. We really don't know, but we take advantage of the time that we have and the signs that we have locally. And with regards to the signs of Laylatul Qadr, the only emphasis we want to give here is don't look so much for the signs in the morning that you retire on the following nights, because that happens sometimes. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us consistent for all of the nights. Another question here in terms of fiqh, Sheikh. If you intend to do khatm in salah and you are behind, can you pray nawafil after maghrib prayer to catch up in addition to qiyam al-layl in the last 10 of Ramadan?
Sorry, say that again?
Can you pray nawafil after maghrib prayer to catch up with your khatm al-Quran in addition to qiyam al-layl in the last 10 of Ramadan? So I think they're asking about the guidelines of khatm al-Quran in terms of which prayers can you utilize it for.
Yeah, I mean that can be added. That can be added to that. Sure.
Jazakallah khairan.
Also, I wanted to just mention something that to add on to what you had said about the previous question about the signs of Laylatul Qadr, which is a very beautiful point, is that you don't really find the companions like specifically like seeking out signs and saying, oh, I know it's Laylatul Qadr based off of these signs. And also this idea of the signs, there's a lot of signs that are kind of out there that people mention as signs that aren't necessarily signs that need to specifically be there. So for example, like the rain, that's not really something that some of the scholars, they say it's not like specifically a sign, but in that year, when it had rained, that it was Laylatul Qadr. Like the Prophet ﷺ had said that the previous night had been Laylatul Qadr, and it had rained on that night. So it's not something that necessarily needs to be there every single year. And a lot of these signs are speculative and not like definitive. And that keeps this the night as something, again, that we don't know for sure when it is, and allows us to focus on benefiting rather than specifying a specific, this I know for sure it was Laylatul Qadr, and then like you said, retiring kind of for the rest of the time.
Jazakumullah khairan, Shaykhna. What would the Shaykhs recommend if despite praying all of Ramadan, one is still lacking in any spiritual connection, making it difficult to connect with Allah on these last few nights? One emphasis is on, first of all, take advantage. Either way, do the action itself. So you might feel like you don't have that quality connection you're looking for, but still do the action itself, because you will be rewarded for the action, taking advantage of the night. And the second is to spill your heart out in dua. talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, spill your heart out. Sometimes the simplest and quickest thing you can do in such a case is really to say, Allahumma aslih qalbi, Allah soften my heart, Allah purify my heart, Allah remove the hardness of my heart, Allah grant me a strong spiritual connection, and to remove anything from your environment or from your lifestyle that might be, preventing that spiritual connection or any type of strong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As well, number 3, I would say, if you want to be very direct, reflect on death, reflect on the reality of returning to Allah, meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reflect on your own passing from this world. If tonight is your last night, how would you want it to be? How would you want to leave this world? Sheikh, somebody asked, actually we'll get to this question after that one. Can I make dua in sujood while it is my period? I don't know if this is sajdat tilawa or if they're asking about salah, in which case there is no salah. Can we say ameen on a pre-recorded dua? That's for you, Sheikh.
So if it's pre-recorded, then what I would say is you make the dua and you say ameen to it. Because if it's pre-recorded, there's not actually a dua being made. If it's a live dua, like we're on this now, and Sheikh Suleiman makes this beautiful dua, that you can say ameen. But on something that's pre-recorded, that includes adhan and these kind of things, then it's not actually happening in the moment. And so there's no really ameen to that dua. But you can, if you like that dua, if it's something that it touches your heart, then you can repeat it, make that dua, and say ameen to it.
Jazakumullah khairan. When you mention you can only pray one witr, does this mean that the witr in Isha prayer is not prayed until before Fajr? So witr does not have to be prayed with Isha prayer. You can pray witr prayer in the last third of the night, and I would think that would be more recommended. Sheikh, correct me if I'm wrong.
Definitely.
Barakallahu feekum. With regards to middle high school students, somebody asked what should they do in terms of prioritizing and having a structure, and they have a lot of other things going on. We would say, as we said before, have a checklist, certain things they have to complete during the night. Let's say part of it for qiyam, for dua, a moment for witr prayer. Let witr prayer be in abundance, inshallah, in terms of the quantity of dua and the quality of it. Maybe time for personal dhikr, time for sadaqah, if they can quickly go online with their family members, a parent, and give something in sadaqah. So basically a checklist of sorts to get certain things done, especially if they have very limited time during the night. But have a plan, have a schedule going into it, inshallah. If you cannot stay awake all night, at least pray for 30 minutes, an hour. Try to take advantage of whatever you can, inshallah. Someone mentioned they have work early in the morning, not able to stay up to pray qiyam. Pray as much as you can, inshallah. You might have to wake up earlier than usual, but this is the night to push yourself. It's worth it. You might also have to pray after Isha prayer. So you can do either or, but try to take advantage, inshallah. It is a once in a lifetime opportunity, even if someone made it to the following years.
Amen.
Sheikh, if there are no, and actually we have to end on this question, inshallah, we apologize. If there are no men in the house, can a female lead prayer? And if so, if there are male kids in the house above and below the age of 10. Jazakallah khair.
If there's no male in the house, then yes, the female can lead the other females in salah. She just stands not in front of them, but they line up next to her. She stands like in the middle of them, basically. And if there's younger children, if they recognize, they're able to make wudu properly, they recognize they know the rulings of salah, then they can lead the salah, inshallah.
Excellent, jazakumullah khairan. And the last question here to end us on a high note, can a person buy something as an Eid gift for themselves, or a gift only given to others? I would say that is the best Eid gift, mashallah. Buy an Eid gift for yourself. Everyone go ahead, buy an Eid gift for yourselves as well, inshallah. I mean this genuinely. Yeah. And of course, buy Eid gifts for others as well. But yes, you can buy yourself an Eid gift, inshallah.
Inshallah. I'm waiting for your Eid gift, Sheikh Suleiman.
Well, your gift to us, alhamdulillah, was your presence on this call. Jazakallah khairan for that. Barakallah feekum. We'll stop here, inshallah, for the sake of time and to respect the next session, bi'idhnillah.
Jazakallah khair for that. That was awesome. I love that. I'll consider that a fatwa. I think I'll follow that every year, inshallah, that you must buy an Eid gift for yourself as well. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for this session and for zooming through all those questions. I know a few people still have remaining questions, inshallah khair. Hopefully you got a chance to visit some of the previous recordings. We did answer them in the 10 nights and whatnot questionnaires, but Jazakallah khair, that was an amazing session overall. And we're hoping that everyone else is just as revved as we are for the 27th night tonight. tonight. And for you UKers, mashallah, what's going on right now, alhamdulillah. Inshallah, I will see you soon, inshallah, Sheikh Suleiman and Sheikh Omar. Jazakumullah khair for giving us a surprise appeararance and making time for us again at Ramadan 360. It's been a pleasure. And I'll say salams to you guys now before we jump into the next session. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum to Sheikh Muhammad. It's good to see you. Barakallahu feek. May Allah accept from you, Sheikh.
Great to see both of you, mashallah. Beautiful smiles. Mashallah. Sheikh Omar, how are you?
Lower your brightness a little bit. It's
Mashallah. I miss you, man.
miss you too, Sheikh. Wallahi.
Allah yakhla.
Allah yabarak fik. Tfaddal.
Tabarak
Allah
Allah.
يتقبل منك شيخ. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
La, alhamdulillah. Sheikh Omar,
Naam, Sheikh.
I'm making a very special dua for you. Inshallah, the topic that I'm going to be talking about, inshallah, Sheikh Omar, I hope, inshallah, you'll be able to practice, both of you, you'll be able to practice what I'm going to be talking about next year.
Inshallah.
Or even better, inshallah, this Eid al-Adha, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh.
Doesn't look like we're going to be going for Hajj, right?
Barakallah fik, Sheikh. We'll see you.
Barakallah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
السلام عليكم.
Love you.
Why are these so cute? Why are these sessions so cute, mashallah? Jazakumullah khair for joining us, Sheikh Muhammad Faqih. It's been a pleasure, of course, to have you. I think this isn't the last time we have you on Ramadan 360, right? My memory is shot at this point.
Probably is the last time.
Oh, subhanallah. At least it's a powerful one. And for once, we have you for a full hour. So we expect lots and lots and lots of stories, inshallah. Sheikh.
Is it a full hour or a half hour?
Sheikh, of course.
Yeah, I'm fine.
We can do half an hour for the session itself, and then we can do Q&A until however long you're comfortable, inshallah.
No, I'd rather have a discussion about this topic. It's a very, interesting topic, just finishing the month of Ramadan as a family. So, Bismillah.
Exactly. Okay, so for those of you who we're not dancing around the topic is love notes, finishing Ramadan as a family, as the Sheikh just said. Buckle in, invite your family, inshallah, to watch with you, inshallah, and benefit for the next half an hour to an hour with Sheikh Muhammad Faqih. Jazakumullah khair for joining us, and enjoy the second half of our day 26 Ramadan 360 programming. Bismillah.
طيب بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما واجعلنا من الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون احسنه. اللهم انا نسالك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. First of all, greet everyone out there who's watching us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all, inshallah ta'ala. Alhamdulillah. I mean, I can't believe it's almost, the month of Ramadan is almost ending right here. So alhamdulillah, who actually allowed us to come to this moment and be able to arrive to the 27th night. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make this a blessed evening for everyone. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal also to allow us to finish this month of Ramadan, finish it strong. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our family members. I also want to really acknowledge some of the people that didn't make it. Subhanallah, it was their will. I personally have a classmate, a good friend, an honest and polite person whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he passed away this morning in Egypt. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on him. Subhanallah, this is just a reminder to all of us that sometimes, we may take people that we have in our lives for granted, and we think that, we're going to have them. How many families out there have, subhanallah, my heart goes out to them, have started this month of Ramadan thinking that they're going to, finish the month together with everyone. This Eid is going to be a very tough Eid on them because they lost a loved one. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant our dear brothers and sisters who passed away. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant them rahmah and to give them Jannatul Firdaus, make them of those who go straight to Jannah, inshallah. And for those families that lost a loved one, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you patience. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase you in your reward. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow you to heal and to feel peace and comfort bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So this is a reminder that whatever relationships we have, my dear brothers and sisters, are a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's something that will not last forever, right? Ahbib man shit, as the Prophet ﷺ said, Ahbib man shit, love whomever you want, فإنك مفارقه, or عش ما شئت فإنك ميت, live as long as you want, one day you eventually die. وأحبب من شئت فإنك مفارقه, love whomever you want, one day you're going to separate from them, and you will be separated from them. Either you leave them or they leave you. And that's why it's imperative, it's very important that we take these relationships and these family ties, and that we take them seriously, that we appreciate whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. And it is indeed a blessing. Marriage is a blessing. Family is a blessing. Children are blessings. Parents are blessings. Siblings are blessings. Someone might say, well, Sheikh, you don't know about my situation. You have no idea. How could it be a blessing? Even if there are some tests or trials or some conflicts in your life, it's still a blessing in disguise. Perhaps Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will find you, inshallah ta'ala, a way out of whatever conflict you may be in. It's a chance for, subhanAllah, people may joke about this. They say, yeah, it makes you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It brings you closer to Allah Azza wa Jalla. It brings you closer to your family if you have trouble in your marriage. People may joke about these things, but marriage, generally speaking, it's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even again, if there are some conflicts or there are some tests or trials. But subhanAllah, the month of Ramadan comes in somehow, right? For the most part, there may be obviously some relationships that really get strained, and they get really stressed out, and they the month of Ramadan in the current COVID-19 situation that we're in may be a huge test for these relationships. I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla again to bring peace and to bring love and harmony and heal these relationships and these marriages. But generally speaking, what I've seen with people around me is that those people who approached this whole situation and the month of Ramadan and being with their family, those people who approached it with the right attitude or with a positive attitude, and they had obviously, hopefully they had like plenty to really capitalize on in terms of their relationship, subhanAllah, are doing very well. Again, as I said, to those who may be going through some hardship, wallahi, my heart goes out to you. So if you feel anything that I'm saying may not apply to you or may actually in a way could be offensive to you, I apologize. That's not my intention. But generally speaking, I believe that this has been an amazing and positive experience. And even for those who may not have done enough because they were busy, subhanAllah, for the first time, you are literally, generally speaking, when Ramadan comes, families come together, right? On a regular basis, at least twice a day for the meals. Then on top of that, now this Ramadan, you come, maybe some are better than others in really committing to this. You come on a regular basis to pray 5 times a day, and in some cases, maybe, less than that, right? Or in many cases, less than that. But families are coming together on a regular basis. They're interacting with each other. They're praying Taraweeh together. They have to put up with the qira'ah of the person that is leading them in salah, right? But nonetheless, it's just an amazing experience. I think this experience will be remembered for a long, long time. So we should, be very grateful for this. As a matter of fact, Allah Azza wa Jal, in the verses that talk about fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions there, وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. One of the objectives of fasting is to be thankful. And one of the blessings that we should be thankful for is family, right? Our spouses, our children, our siblings, our parents. Number 2, in the verses that talk about fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, and in spite of the fact that the month of Ramadan is indeed a month of ibadah, and when you fast, you actually do keep your distance, especially when it comes to intimacy from your spouse. But subhanallah, because of the importance of this family tie and this, especially I'm talking about marriage, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. And in that verse, Allah also said, "Hunna libasun lakum wa antum libasun lahun." Allah described that intimacy between husband and wife as being garments for one another. Subhanallah. So again, because there is this very important emotional element that, in my opinion, is very key also for us to being spiritually focused and fulfilled bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So in Islam, marriage or relationships or family ties, it's a ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's one of the signs of Allah Azza wa Jal, something worthy to reflect upon. For those of us who are reading the Quran, how many times have you come upon verses that talk about family in the Quran, right? And how many times, I mean, this whole idea, I mean, look at everyone is saying, no, my focus is now Jannah. I want to make it to Jannah. I want to get the highest place in Jannah. SubhanAllah, look at what the Quran is saying, even about Jannah and people entering Jannah, right? If we think about finishing the month of Ramadan, together as a family, and like extend that further, inshallah ta'ala, in many years, let's say we finish, we graduate from this life and we go to Jannah. One of the greatest, concepts and one of the most beautiful concepts about Jannah, this whole idea of family having a family reunion, coming together. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about people coming together on the Day of Judgment, family, loved ones, whose relationships were based upon taqwa and righteousness, right? And that's why it's very important that we really take advantage of the month of Ramadan and ending the month of Ramadan and the last few most precious nights that are left of the month of Ramadan to come together upon the love of Allah and upon the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and upon this pursuit of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure in Jannah, so that Allah Azza wa Jal will allow us to prosper and be happy in this life, but also to succeed and to come together in the greatest and the most beautiful family reunion that can ever take place, which is in Jannah, when we come together with our ancestors and with our descendants and with our family members, inshallah ta'ala. So subhanallah, it's just beautiful. You feel like Islam, this beauty about these Islamic teachings, about family and about maintaining family and about maintaining a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and being thankful for what we have. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, "Wallahu ja'ala lakum min anfusikum azwaja." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created for you of yourselves, from yourselves, mates. وَجَعَلَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَزْوَاجِكُم بَنِينَ وَحَفَدًا. It's Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah attributes this to Himself. جَعَلَ لَكُم. He is the one that ja'al. He's the one that granted you this. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَرَزَقَكُم مِّنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ. جعل لكم من أزواجكم بنين وحفدا ورزقكم من الطيبات أفبالباطل يؤمنون وبنعمة الله هم يكفرون. In Surah Al-Nahl, verse 72, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, how could they deny the bounties and the blessings of Allah upon them, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also told us that it's of His great signs. One of the, objectives or one of the goals that we're all trying to achieve also in the month of Ramadan is to feel this inner peace. Obviously, fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the remembrance of Allah brings a lot of serenity and tranquility to the heart, brings sukoon and tranquility to the heart. But also we know that one of the worldly elements that actually can ensure and help bring serenity and tranquility and peace is also a good marriage, right? A happy marriage. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, right? Allah وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. So my dear brothers and sisters, it's important that we have and we develop and we enhance and we maintain appreciation for these family ties and family relationships that we have. And subhanallah, when we come together in the month of Ramadan, whether it's to cook together or to prepare together or to eat together, or to pray together, or to worship together, inshallah, or to even celebrate together. This togetherness is going to make us better individuals, and it's going to also cause us to become qualified to receive blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it actually cultivates and it encourages and inspires rahmah, mutual love, mutual compassion. And we know that إِنَّمَا يَرْحَمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الرُّحَمَاء. When there is so much rahmah, right? We talk about shukr in the relationship. We talk about rahmah, this concept of compassion between family members. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showers that that household with his compassion, because people there care for one another. And we know that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when you examine at the when you look at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's family ties, and you see how they used to come together. It caught my attention that subhanallah, that one year the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam decided to do i'tikaf, and he built a tent for himself, or he asked for a tent to be put together for him, and then Aisha radiallahu anha was inspired by that, so she put one as well to do i'tikaf with him. So Hafsa saw what Aisha did, and she was inspired, and she put that. And then Zainab saw what Hafsa did, and so the Prophet in the morning, he saw 4 tents, and he said, "What are these?" So they told him the story. Then the Prophet said, "Okay, just remove all of them," and he made i'tikaf later on. Subhanallah. So just the whole idea of even family members just competing to do khair, coming together and to be inspired by that. We see that between our children. One makes effort to fast the whole day, though they're too young to do that, and then the younger one feels so motivated and they want to copy them. So let's inshallah ta'ala be very grateful for this. Having said that, I just want to add one more thing, inshallah ta'ala, with regards to our children and our spouses. It is very important that we really cheer them up as this month comes to an end, inshallah ta'ala. Reward them for their hard work, right? Overlook any shortcomings or mistakes that were done or committed. Apologize for your shortcomings and for your mistakes with regards to anything that may have come up. Sometimes we get, so make sure that we come together, starting this moment, come together and finish as a family, finish together, loving one another, asking each other for forgiveness, supporting one another, right? Coming up with ideas to make this Eid a special day for everyone to celebrate together. And specifically, I just want to give a shout out to every child out there that has been fasting, and mashallah, they did all 26 days. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. I'm so proud of you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from you, whether you're 10 or a little older than that, or 9, 8, 7. I think I was 7 when I fasted most of the month of Ramadan, 20-something days. And then I think I was 8 when first time I did a whole month, inshallah, and I was so proud of myself. So I understand the excitement. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. I think we should reward them, and we should get them a special gift for this great accomplishment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them for just being able to love, to fast for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Last but not least, my dear brothers and sisters, I think we should have family gatherings or meetings, inshallah ta'ala. Today is the 27th night. This evening is going to be the 27th night of the month of Ramadan. There are only, most likely, including today, 4 nights left. I think time for us, inshallah ta'ala, to come together, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to enjoy and experience Ramadan again. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to bring upon us Ramadan again and again. Allahumma a'id alayna Ramadan a'waman adidatan wa azminatan madida. Allah grant us a strong and blessed finishing for this month. And oh Allah, make us of those who have been granted emancipation, or those who have been given salvation from hellfire. And oh Allah, allow us to experience Ramadan again and again, and make this Eid a special blessed occasion for all of us, for all of our family members. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. I'm hoping, inshallah ta'ala, that we can, inshallah, have some questions, talk about some ideas and some, because I personally have some questions I want to ask our viewers and our audience, inshallah.
You have questions to ask. Actually, let's
Yes.
start with those while you guys think of questions and submit them in the Q&A box on Facebook.
Yeah.
And here. What questions do you have for our audience, Jay?
First of all, I wanna ask if people are really now considering and thinking about, what are their ideas? How are they going to be celebrating Eid under these unique circumstances that we're in? Since we're not, in many places, people may not be able to go visit other families or receive guests at home. How are we going to do this? I mean, I don't know. Our family members, everyone is going to go back to their rooms and then maybe come visit each other in their rooms and exchange gifts.
That's an idea. That's an idea. Social distance in your rooms and then surprise each other after you get ready. That's actually not a bad idea. Actually, Sheikh, what do you usually do for Eid gift traditions in your family? What do you have a tradition like that you do every year? Do you decorate the house? Do you dress up?
They do, yes.
They do.
I would be working on my khutbah, and they would my wife, my daughter, and my sons will be busy decorating and preparing. And then of course sometimes they come with me, and most of the time they go on their own to the Eid prayer, and we meet there, and it's a very nice surprise to see them there in the audience.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So,
what are you going to do differently then? Because I know, actually, for you, I know a lot of this you have mentioned, it's going to be different without the masajid. What will you do this time around?
Yes. Allahu A'lam. I mean, right now, most likely, I'm going to go to the masjid and just address the community there virtually and encourage everyone to pray at home, and maybe come home, inshallah, pray with the family, and then, or pray with the family and then go to the masjid to address the community, and then just celebrate. We have a plan to have a drive-through Eid parade, and so we're gonna have drive-through Eid celebration, inshallah, in the masjid. Families stay in their cars and they come and they interact with each other from distance, and we do some interviews, give out some gifts. And
that's awesome, mashallah. We have a drive-through iftar at our local masjid right now. A drive-through iftar and drive-through suhoor tonight, inshallah, as well. So that's awesome. Let's make the most out of this and make this I want this to be memorable, we're going to remember 2020 as a Ramadan of social isolation and whatever. Let's tell our kids about the fact that we couldn't eat iftar thing. Let's make it big. I see some responses in the chat already. Some people usually have, Bazira says she has Eid prayer at home, and that she's going to make a feast for her parents and exchange gifts with family and friends and drop off gifts at the doorsteps. Oh, that's a great idea. I was thinking of that. Is to do drop off gift drives or whatnot.
That's nice. Yes. Right? That's beautiful. I hope it's not too late for people right now who did not think about giving, exchanging gifts. I hope it's not too late for them to order gifts online and get them in time.
Funny enough, I just got a package literally right now with some of my gifts, and while you were talking, I had to quickly open it. So hopefully,
and cash is always a good alternative as well. Yeah.
Fair enough. Someone else said they'll be Zooming each other. Someone else who's spending it alone, she'll be sending cookies to her sister, but she's in quarantine since she was in contact with a COVID-19 patient.
Oh, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make a day of Eid a day of blessing for her, inshallah.
Ameen.
You're never alone, though. You have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you company, inshallah ta'ala. Also, I was thinking that it's important. I know this might get rub some brothers the wrong. I hope it doesn't. But who cares? I'm just gonna say it. But I really think that wives and mothers have been working very hard, especially mothers who now are stuck with children at home, like doing homeschooling or doing schoolwork from home. And then on top of that, the month of Ramadan. And I know from what I know that many, at least the ones in my circles, have been doing an extraordinary job, in trying to really make this a special experience for their family members. They've been working hard, in addition to them doing their own personal ibadah. I salute every single one of them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and reward you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, increase your reward, multiply your reward, right? And the least I think, I would encourage my dear brothers out there whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed with wives or, mothers of their children that have been, doing an extraordinary job this Ramadan, is to acknowledge that and appreciate that. Make dua for them, and then, share something special with them, inshallah ta'ala. A nice Eid gift will not be a bad idea. It will go a long way. It will, if that's her love language, she appreciates gifts, that's fine. But whatever, you do, think of something just to really express how grateful you are for what they have done. And you should be grateful. You should feel gratitude for what they have done. SubhanAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reward you immensely, sisters. Indeed, they are the heroines of this season. So.
MashaAllah. Someone else is saying that her husband and children will be praying home, swapping gifts, playing board games, and then have barbecue in the evening.
Board game, nice.
Yeah, and barbecue in the evening, not bad. Making the most of it, mashallah. Hold on, Sheikh. I think you didn't really answer the question about gifts. You said that you give gifts, but what kinds of gifts do you give besides money?
Besides money?
Yes, besides money.
Wallahi, I'm running out of gift ideas. So I just give up. I think right now, cash, well, if you want, for those out there who want to give cash, but they're, I'm sure someone is going to ask me this question. I was actually dealing with this earlier today. Sheikh, is it romantic for me to give to Wire or to Venmo, gift to my wife? I think so, inshallah. If you don't want to give the actual, if you're looking for a creative way and you want to send just some nice message on one of these whatever apps you're using to exchange cash, yeah, that's fine. Why not? Yeah, but I think it says something. What matters is really the thought that just that I've been noticing that you've been working very hard. Please take a break. Try to not to overburden each other on the day of Eid. Maybe you can order something if it's safe, but I think, families should really, really appreciate the fact that we have come to this moment. And inshallah ta'ala, we ask Allah to allow all of us, inshallah, to make it safely till the day of Eid. And beyond that, inshallah, keep us all safe and well. We should really be very grateful for this opportunity and for this ni'mah, this blessing that Allah Azza wa Jalla allowed us to begin the month of Ramadan and the month of Ramadan. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to really, bestow His ni'mah upon us. Allahumma atmim ni'mataka alayna ya Rabb.
Someone else is saying, and someone else is saying, are you Somali, by the way?
No, I'm not. I wish.
Perfect.
No, I'm not. No, I am not.
Okay. Actually, I was going to say about the Venmoing thing. It depends on her love language, Sheikh. If her love language is not gifts, but it depends on her personality. Because some woman would prefer you spend $5 on a chocolate bar than Venmo them like $50, I feel like that has to be taken into account. Others are saying that someone's
or maybe some prefer that you finally get to organize the garage.
Or that do a little
after, yeah. You commit on the day of Eid that you're going to fix the garage the next day, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah. I don't know if I mentioned it, but someone else is dropping breakfast, which is a tradition in their family, to people's houses. So a lot of people do that, right? After Eid prayer, they go to someone's house, they have breakfast or brunch together. So inshallah, this person is going to be dropping them. We're going to have some exciting little competitions. Sheikh, you're welcome to join for, should I tell them? Anyways, we're going to
By the way, since you spoke about, love language, it could be that, okay, you finished, let's say, try to catch up with your Quran so that you can do your khatam You don't leave it until last minute, until the day before Eid, until the 30th. Most likely Eid is expected to be on Sunday. So I'm expecting a lot of people to be off on Saturday, and a lot of husbands are going to be, well, I think a lot of husbands are home anyways. But so let's say that you're done, alhamdulillah, with your ibadah the night before. You get some rest, Saturday morning, alhamdulillah. And let's say that you caught up with your Quran and you finished, you did your khatim. It's very, by the way, also as families, if anyone is doing khatim, I urge everyone, inshallah, to come together, to do the khatim of finishing of the Quran and make dua jointly. I believe it was Anas ibn Malik, the companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him. He used to do that, bring his family members, everyone in his household together to make dua together and pray for everyone. But I know that a lot of mothers or wives, the day before Eid can be very exhausting for them because they're doing a lot of cleaning. They're running around. So I think it would be very nice, inshallah ta'ala, for you, fellas, guys, for us, inshallah ta'ala, to participate and to help, and work together, inshallah. It can really be a fulfilling experience, inshallah.
Inshallah. Sheikh, we have some serious questions that were submitted a little earlier. Can we tackle a couple of the serious questions? And then inshallah, we always go over time for this session. So we might give people a final break and let them finish early a little bit. Oh, someone said not yet. Okay. But inshallah, we'll do maybe 10 more minutes of questions and we'll hang it a little bit. And then
Sure.
Awesome. The first question is, can some dua have scary consequences? Like if you ask to become a billionaire or a boss of your company, can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant some grandiose duas just to test someone like fitna, like a fitna? Or do you always ask with hope that whatever Allah bestows on us of what we ask is good in this life and the hereafter?
That's a great question, actually. That's why we said, the scholars recommend that, when you make dua, that you ask Allah Azza wa Jal for what is best for you, right? And if you're going to be very specific, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you the best of it and protect you from any evil, within it. So if you're going to ask Allah Azza wa Jal for something or someone specific, right? Again, I personally, say to people that, try not to be too specific in your dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيَدْعُ الْإِنسَانُ بِالشَّرِّ دُعَاءَهُ بِالْخَيْرِ. Sometimes we make dua, and ask, and Allah also says in the Quran, perhaps you may love, عَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ, right? That's perhaps you may love something and you want it and you desire it, and it may be evil, right? And sometimes we ask for something that we think is good for us when it has, when it potentially can be bad for us. So when you ask Allah Azza wa Jal, ask Allah for what is best. When you ask Allah for a child, ask Allah for a righteous child. When you ask Allah for a spouse, ask Allah for a righteous spouse. When you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for anything, ask Allah Azza wa Jal to grant you the best of it and protect you from any evil, within it. So potentially, yes, sometimes we could be asking for something and it turns out, it becomes a test, for us. So, yeah, وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ عَجُولًا, or, a human being is hasty in nature, and we don't know. وَلَوْ كُنْتُ أَعْلَمُ الْغَيْبَ لَاسْتَكْثَرْتُ مِنَ الْخَيْرِ وَمَا مَسَّنِيَ السُّوءُ. We don't know the future, so only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. And that's why we're taught istikhara. And even in istikhara, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow something to happen or to facilitate and ease the process of something happening for you that you desire, if it's good for you, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows it to be good for you, inshallah. And if you do your part and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants you something, even if there is some hardship or some difficulty, because sometimes people say, what if I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant me something that is good for me and Allah gave it to me, but then I started getting some, I started having some issues with it. Perhaps there is a potential good that comes from that conflict or that issue that you may be having. So only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. Wallahu ya'lamu wa antum la ta'lamun.
Jazakumullah khair for that thorough answer. The next question is, Sheikh, is it true that the angel Jibreel makes dua against someone to not be forgiven because they didn't make an effort to seek Allah's forgiveness during Ramadan?
I think the person is referring to the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said that Jibreel said, to him that whosoever gets a chance to experience the month of Ramadan and do not qualify to have their sins forgiven, then Allah, may that person be distanced, or may that person be cursed, right? So what basically my understanding of the hadith is that whoever has the opportunity, right, gets the chance and the opportunity to experience the month of Ramadan, and they fail in doing so, in taking advantage of the month of Ramadan, because they're committing sins, they're not changing their lifestyle, they're neglecting their duties to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're not doing what it takes, they're failing to repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're failing to worship and obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Ramadan. So the month of Ramadan is a month of blessings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows kindness and blesses the believers in the month of Ramadan. If anyone fails to really receive the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Ramadan, then that person, there must be something wrong that that person is doing. So that's what the hadith is referring to, that if anyone fails to repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and receive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness in the month of Ramadan, then that person is really not worthy of that kind of. But it also shows, by the way, the hadith also shows that the month of Ramadan, like, anyone can be forgiven in the month of Ramadan, right? You just have to do your best, So the chance of you receiving forgiveness in the month of Ramadan is so high, right? That if you fail, the person, if the person, when that fails, they must be just a total, loser, someone that really, so why not, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting everyone, to receive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's grace in the month of Ramadan.
The next question is, Sheikh, is there a specific time for the Eid prayer?
Is there a specific time for the Eid prayer? Meaning from like a fiqh point of view, yeah, you can, you can pray Eid from after Isfar, from after you have the bright twilight, from after Fajr until before Dhuhr. So that whole time is time for Eid prayer. So you can pray anytime. Some people pray after sunrise. Some people pray closer. Some people pray, during the time of duha, right? So, yeah.
Actually, on that topic, is it more rewardable when the masajid are open and there are Eid prayers to do the earlier Eid prayer, or does it not matter if you do the first or second or third prayer? They're all equally rewardable.
Okay. Sorry, I was distracted with, I don't know how. I know this is gonna sound very bad, but I keep getting. I thought I blocked the cellular service, and I just keep getting phone calls and I keep getting messages. So I'm completely distracted right there. What is happening here? Wait 1 second. Let me just.
Is it like from China or from those weird countries, or is it something specific?
To be honest with you, I got a couple of phone calls right now, and one of them is.
One of them is from where?
It's just some strange number that I don't have. Yeah.
So,
sorry. Then I keep getting like these text messages and breaking news and all of that. So
yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I'll relieve you of that. No worries. No worries at all.
So we were talking about praying Eid,
Yes.
right? So okay. So you have the option from after, sunrise until dhuhr, right? Or before dhuhr, sorry, until before dhuhr. So you can pray anytime. If you have multiple shifts, you can pray any shift you want.
Okay, that's good to know. So there's no like the first person who comes for the 6 a.m. Eid prayer at the masjid, they're not more rewarded than the person who comes at like.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I don't think so. Yes.
You're an imam, right? So that counts for even extra.
And can you? The question is, yeah, you can pray any of them, whichever is more, like, most convenient.
Okay. Someone's saying if you're praying alone, do you need to do the takbirs for Eid?
Say that again.
Sorry, if you're praying alone, do you need to do the takbirs for Eid, the takbirat?
Yes, you can. You can up until the salah itself. Yes, from after. Yeah. You do your takbirat, inshallah ta'ala.
Perfect.
And actually, that's one of the most exciting parts. This whole time I thought I was using my earphone and it wasn't working. But anyways, actually one of the most exciting parts of the Eid day is takbirat. So I urge families, inshallah ta'ala, to do that together, inshallah, at home, right? Do it together, because a lot of people used to, would wait until they go to the masjid and do their takbirat. We're going to broadcast live takbirat from the masjid as well. Yes, do it together at home. I think it's better than playing some audio clip of the takbirat of the haram. But yeah, do it together, as families, do it out loud. I think it's one of the most exciting things that one can do, inshallah ta'ala, until you pray Eid salah together.
Perfect. And actually, isn't there like part of it is supposed to be on your way to the masjid, you're supposed to take a different route and you're supposed to be saying them until you get to the masjid. Can you still say those takbirat, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar? Can you say that before you get to, like, while you're at home, just hanging around the house? You can't make a different route around your house and a different route coming back or anything. So can you do that?
Yeah, if you live in one of these homes where you have like two sets of, stairs, you go down through one and no. Yeah, you just do it at home. You walk around and you greet one another. You congratulate each other. Do takbirat. Sometimes you should initiate it so that everyone does it. Sometimes you let your child do it. I think we should make it an exciting experience, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah. There's actually a couple more questions about.
One cool, actually, one great thing maybe about this year is that there's no rush, right? You don't have to like rush, and you're not gonna feel so pressured. And so, because Eid day can become also a very stressful day for especially mothers with little children. They need to get them ready, get them dressed up and stuff like that. And they wake up and everybody's tired, and people may be as excited, but they're still, they're trying to catch the salah and make it to the musalla of Eid in time so that they can find a spot. Sometimes people get there late and they're frustrated and upset, and that actually ruins their entire Eid experience. This year, you don't have to rush. You're, at your own. You can do it at your own pace, and you can, you can relax, inshallah ta'ala. But that doesn't mean that you should be late for any Eid activity that is out there. So, so some time management will be very useful, inshallah. But again, it's going to be less stressful for many people, right? We're going to, what was that question?
Someone else was saying we're going to be doing Eid drive-ups. And the next questions were, if you're alone, can you pray? Sheikh, if they call you, you should put them on microphone or on speakerphone, and we'll have a conversation with them. We love doing that in the office. I hate that you're getting spanked. The prank calls are so bad. They're like the worst thing in the world is these foreign prank calls.
I've been doing a lot of Zoom sessions, but I've never had anything like this. Right now, it's just, I don't know what is happening out there. I hope there isn't anything happening in the world right now that is.
A lot of people are asking, if you're alone, can you pray Salatul Eid? And is it all right for a woman to lead two other women in the Eid prayer?
Can you pray individually? Yes, you can. You can pray as families, but you're saying if there's a group of ladies, can they pray together?
Yes. Can a woman lead 2 other women?
I don't see anything wrong with that. Allah, I could be wrong, but I don't see anything wrong with that. Yes. I mean, obviously she stands in between. It's 2 rak'ah.
Okay, fair enough. The next is, if you're doing dua and sujood, do you have to praise Allah first and then send salawat on the Prophet, or is that only outside salah when you're making dua and sujood?
I mean, you don't have to in sujood. I mean, you've been praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So in sujood, you can just go straight and just make the dua. Allahumma ya muqallib al-qulub, Allahumma, yani, you can just straight, make the dua in your sujood.
Okay, fair enough. I think the questions are getting more and more and more off topic. So what we'll do, inshallah, jazakumullah khair for the time that you've given us. If you can give us just one quick kind of reminder for people who are, especially families, maybe that you have not had the best Ramadan that you were hoping to have, right? A lot of us, alhamdulillah, this has been a blessing and an opportunity and taking advantage of it. But some of us, maybe some people are working on the front lines and they haven't had the ability to reap the rewards or the full benefits, and it's been disappointing, and they're leaving the month disappointed, or the last few days are left. Can you give them any kind of quick pieces of advice for individuals or families who are experiencing that this late in the month, and what they can do to kind of salvage the end of the month for themselves, inshallah, or change their perspective?
Yeah, a couple of advices. Well, actually 3. Number 1, the month is not over yet, right? Perhaps maybe the most valuable night of the month may be ahead of us. It could be tonight, it could be tomorrow night, it could be Friday evening, it could be like Thursday night, this coming Thursday night. First of all, it's a Friday eve, right? It's a Friday evening, and it's Friday, the blessed day. And on top of that, it's actually an odd night, right? Ibn Hubayra was reported to have said that if an odd night falls on a Friday evening, meaning Thursday night, right, there is a good chance that could be Laylatul Qadr. It's the 29th night of Ramadan. So maybe the most valuable night, or the most precious night that we are all looking forward to really take advantage of, could be ahead of us. It could be again tonight, could be tomorrow night, could be the night after, right? So the month is not over yet. So وَإِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِخَوَاتِيمِهَا. It doesn't matter how you started, just make sure that you end strong, inshallah ta'ala. You can still catch up with finishing your Quran. If you haven't, you can still do dua. You can still take advantage. There are a few days and few nights left of the month of Ramadan. So that's number 1. So don't give up. Shaitan sometimes comes, makes you look back at, oh, look what you've done. The month is almost over. It's all done. You haven't met your goals, and depress you and cause you to really just, dwell over what you haven't been able to do, instead of focusing on what you can do right now, right? So make sure that you don't allow that to happen, and make sure that you take advantage of whatever is left, right? Number 2, the very fact we should be very grateful for whatever we were able to do, whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed us to do. There are some people who didn't get the chance to do this. There are some people who are stuck in much more difficult situations and predicaments than many of us are experiencing right now. So always remember that there is someone else out there that did not have the opportunity, or that does not have the opportunities that we have, that they do not have the privileges that we have. So we should be thankful for what we have. We should be very grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and express our gratitude to Allah Azza wa Jalla, the Almighty, and continue to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us for our shortcomings. Obviously, it's part of one of the qualities of the believers. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْتُونَ مَا آتَوا وَقُلُوبُهُم وَجِلَةٌ أَنَّهُمْ إِلَى رَبِّهِمْ رَاجِعُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises the believers who, whenever they do whatever they do, whenever they do an act of devotion or an act of worship for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether it's charity or whether it's some sort of ibadah, they still feel nervous about not being accepted. So they continue to humbly ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to accept whatever they have done from them, and to forgive them for any of their shortcomings. So maintain that attitude, but be very grateful and be thankful for whatever Allah Azza wa Jalla allowed you to do, and whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired you to do. And number 3, right? Beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask Allah Azza wa Jalla. Make dua. Sometimes these emotions that we feel are good because they help us maintain humility, right? And humility is a good thing, right? Oh Allah, I have not done enough. I have not worshipped you as much as I would have wanted to, right? As much as you are worthy of, and you're deserving to be worshipped, subhanahu wa ta'ala. ما عبدناك حق عبادة. So it's good to maintain, to have that, so that you can maintain a level of humility that is very key. But ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to accept whatever you have done. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you another opportunity, inshallah ta'ala, and to allow you to experience Ramadan again. Try to take as many lessons as you can from whatever situation you are in this Ramadan, and internalize all the lessons that you learned from this month of Ramadan. And remember that it's not always ibadah doesn't always have to be what we how should I put this? Sometimes you said there are some people who may have been in the front lines, right, doing great work of saving lives, combating this. They may not have had enough time to read Quran because they were so busy, right? They may not have enough time to pray every night because they were actually they were going overnight, running around from one bed to another, or from one room to another, right? We have people in the front lines, we have ER doctors, we have nurses, we have people who are working so hard. This is, inshallah ta'ala, their ibadah, right? And remember that whatever you have done, whether it's volunteer work that may have preoccupied you from doing some of the ibadat that other people have the privilege to do, you are actually in a state of ibadah when you dedicate and devote whatever you're doing for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we're told, right, by Ibn Abbas, to actually go and fulfill someone else's need and to take care of their need and to be there for them and to support them, right? He said, it's better for me than doing i'tikaf in this masjid, in the masjid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for such and such amount of time, right? So just remember that we have this broad, like holistic or broad, comprehensive way of looking at worship, right? And for the mothers out there and the sisters who have been managing, their households, and who have been doing a lot of work, sometimes at the expense of their own personal time or personal ibadah, you are in a state of ibadah. Whatever you have done for the sake of Allah, Allah will reward you, right? For every morsel that you facilitated, you have for every dish that you have cooked, for every effort that you have put. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for all of that. So remember, that you should be, inshallah, thankful and grateful for that, and you should be hopeful. Maintain hope, that Allah Azza wa Jalla will reward you for that. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to come together again on the day of Eid. Do we have any program on the day of Eid, Sister Hafsa?
So we have a few. I don't think I'm supposed to tell everybody. We do have programming. We have a couple little surprise things that will be popping up on Eid Day, I believe, and leading up to it. So Ramadan 360 actually ends on Friday. So this is the third last day, I believe, 26, 27, 28. So fourth last day of Ramadan 360. Then we have a few challenges and a couple of things that will be happening. We'll be announcing our winner for our Dar es Salaam Umrah prize, inshallah. Actually, funny enough, speaking of people who didn't feel like they benefited from Ramadan completely, my Ramadan didn't start until the 27th night for last year. Like, I didn't benefit. I felt like I had wasted my Ramadan. And the last 3 nights, the dua I made was to go on Umrah, and I ended up going on Umrah with you. SubhanAllah. There's still hope. There's plenty of hope, inshallah, for all of us. And we will look out on the page, inshallah. We'll announce some Eid programming. Sheikh, we'll maybe see how your baking skills are on Eid, and see if you can participate as well, inshallah.
Inshallah. Baking?
Yes, baking.
I'm not Yasser Brajas. I'm not Yasser Brajas.
We need time.
Sheikh Yasser Brajas is the master.
MashaAllah. We were like, we should do a cooking series with him, but he was already on a roll by the time we got that idea, MashaAllah.
Maybe I can try, I can try tea.
Tea, I mean, if you put some sugar in it, I guess.
Hands down, I think I'd make better teas than Yasser Qadi.
You know what's so funny? Someone said chai off. Someone did say when we were planning on what to do, we'd do a chai off, but then they're like, no, who's going to want to participate in that? So if you guys have feedback, we'd love to hear a chiku. Well, you can't taste it. You can't judge it besides the color, How do you judge tea? Alhamdulillah.
So I think no, I'm all down for a competition of tea maybe between. I'm actually challenging Chef Omar Suleiman, inshallah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we're gonna have to save this clip to do a tea competition. Is he a good tea
competition? Tea competition, Palestinian style.
Are Palestinians known for their tea, Sheikh?
Well, they have some touches, to their tea, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. I've never heard.
So on Eid day, inshallah ta'ala, I challenge Chef Omar Suleiman to make tea, chai with meramia, sage, basically, tea with sage, inshallah. And then I don't know who's gonna judge it, but maybe we can have the kids judge it and see.
Inshallah, each other's kids, or how is that gonna work?
I don't know.
That's an idea for the pot. Inshallah, we'll have to save this part of the clip and send it to him. Jazakumullah khair for your attendance. Actually, we actually all the way to the full hour. I know it's exhausting for you as a sheikh to be taking care of your own community, of your own ibadah, and then ourselves and all these demands that you have on you. So, barakallahu feekum, may Allah multiply. I mean, take care.
And an early Eid Mubarak to all of you.
Eid Mubarak, Eid Mubarak. Take care. Everyone else, please stick around. We'll finish up in just a second. We do have our daily Kahoot game, inshallah. I know we missed it yesterday and we will not miss it again today. I apologize for that, but alhamdulillah, we have the opportunity to make up for it today. We have make dua for your mom who just started praying. May Allah make it easy on her. May Allah make her regular and consistent and fall in love with the act of prayer and with regular ibadah. Ameen. So we have our Kahoot game. I have a lot of questions coming in and I know we haven't touched on it in a while, so I'm going to quickly address. For those who have no idea Ramadan 360, what it is outside of the group and on Faith Essentials. So basically this entire platform, this entire series was built actually for our Faith Essentials audience initially. And then we decided as an organization, and obviously Faith Essentials are paid members. They have a subscription, a monthly or a yearly subscription, and they do so much to keep this platform going. And we decided as an institution that we wanted to make sure that the rest of the wider community could also benefit from all this amazing programming that we had. And we wanted to kind of make it available for free. So that's why we created the Ramadan 360 Facebook group. And then we pulled in the Al Maghrib family and the Al Maghrib YouTube family as well to make sure as many people. And I want you Faith Essentials to remember that you get a portion of this reward, mashallah, that you have earned by supporting the platform itself. And this is the reason why the series was possible. So every single person that's listening, that's benefited, that's changed, that's felt this community, alhamdulillah, we are all involved in that reward that they have received and that we are receiving, alhamdulillah. We did get a few new members since Ramadan 360 went global, but for those who are curious, who love these sessions, who really love this interaction with the shuyukh, the Q&As and this entire dynamic, this is actually what we do on Faith Essentials. We have courses, we have 24, 25 courses to begin with that I hope you guys are taking advantage of. I know I've been slacking in Ramadan as well, but alhamdulillah, we have so much to come back to. We do a new course every month. This month's course is, of course, Lost in Translation. And then we have Q&As, we have these sessions with our shuyukh. Some of them are a little bit more casual, some of them are a little bit more lecture style, and then we have a lot of Q&As, and that is so that all these students on Faith Essentials, they can either leave a comment on their portal to get their questions answered, or if they want to be more anonymous, they can come in during a session on Zoom, and then they can submit questions on specific courses or topics or themes that we cover over the platform, alhamdulillah. So I know a lot of you have joined, alhamdulillah, the LaunchGood campaign. That is not linked today, I'll link it later, but it's Guardians of Knowledge on LaunchGood. And if you actually support even the base level on the campaign is, I think, $120. We have actually made it so feasible for you guys to join us on Faith Essentials as well. That's an extra perk of supporting us there. So I know we have a lot of LaunchGood family members coming to us now, joining Faith Essentials. And I hope that you guys who are watching now, I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek actually of what to expect when you go into the portal. And then inshallah, we'll jump right into the Kahoot game. And because we didn't have a Kahoot game yesterday, we will have 2 winners this time, inshallah. So I hope that you guys stick around and you benefit from that as well. So really quickly, and this is just actually for F years as well, just a quick reminder. I know you guys come in through your portal, mashallah, but it's very easy to forget, or to not take advantage of all the courses and all the opportunities that you have. So just a reminder of what we have coming up, inshallah, in the portal as well. I'll share with you right now. So for those of you who've never seen the inside of Faith Essentials, this is what it looks like. Ignore all my tabs. I'm just logged in as myself here in my account. So you have your Ramadan 360 banner on the top. You have every month, we have a new course here. We have right now Lost in Translation, which is that featured course with Sheikh Walid and Sheikh Omar. That is still open for registration right now until the end of Ramadan, I think, or the end of May. So do take advantage of that, inshallah. So you can start the course itself. Just a little sneak peek. So you can start it. You have a little description. You have all of your lessons to benefit from. And then you have discussions. So right now we're all waiting for people. MashaAllah, there's more comments that have come in. Alhamdulillah, Sheikh Omar and Sheikh Walid have been checking them out to make sure that you guys are enjoying the course, and any feedback that you have to see if we should extend it or do more, a part 2 or something. So you have comments where you can leave questions or just talk about the course itself. Then you have a note section. I don't usually take advantage of it these days, but usually you can save a note and you can actually print it out. So I loved printing out my notes when I was doing them more regularly. Mashallah, I love this feature itself because I'm a note taker. So you have that. You have your live session section. So this is right now, you can see these are the sessions that we just had that are live. And then you have all the sessions that are coming up or that have pending being put up because of the recordings. And then you have courses. Tons and tons of courses. I haven't gone through. Value of the Seekers is my big kind of like thing that I'm really excited about because it was a full weekend course. So there's so much content in there. But you have courses by some of our favorite shuyukh, of course, Sheikh Abu Isa, Sheikh Yasser Qadi, Sheikh Omar Suleiman, Sheikh Hussam Sharif. A lot of you enjoyed his Quran circles, Faith Essentials as well. Practice your recitation through those short videos that he has in Read, Recite, Flow. Those are really awesome. So you have a wealth of content available to you, alhamdulillah. And I'm actually, my goal is to review all of Faith Essentials after Ramadan ends, because there's some things I realize I still, like someone asked me about how to do ghusl properly yesterday, and I completely didn't have the full answer, and I had to like pick things apart, and then I had to go to Sheikh Abu Isa's lecture and watch the video on ghusl, and that was a good reminder for myself as well. Then upcoming, we have Through the Fire by Sheikh Omar Suleiman coming up, the Ilm night that was recorded, alhamdulillah, for us on June 5th. And then July 5th, we have New Dawn releasing for our platform as well with Sheikh Abdullah Hakim Quick. And then finally, we have all our recordings from all the sessions that we had in Ramadan 360, plus way more. There are about 200 plus recordings on here now, and inshallah, there's going to be even more. And before I even forget, I completely skipped over this. We also have roadmaps. So for family education, if you're trying to use this as a base to help educate your kids, for how to deal with times of difficulty, we did this for COVID-19, and then for reverts as well. There's just a wealth of knowledge, alhamdulillah, available on the platform. I hope that's inspired you on Faith Essentials, those of you who haven't dipped into your portal very, very recently, to make sure that you kind of take advantage, because a lot of the questions even that we were getting through Ramadan 360, I think a lot of people on Faith Essentials already knew the answers, mashallah, because you have that level of access. And I hope that you guys have been taking advantage of it, or you've been motivated to take advantage of it after this is all over, inshallah. And we'll continue. If we do a Shawwal 360, we do anything like that, that is probably going to be, actually not probably, that is definitely going to be exclusive to the Faith Essentials platform. This has been an amazing experience with the community. We're going to make sure that we stay connected to our community, but that is something that I want to make sure that those of you on Faith Essentials have been kind of chiming in for and giving in your submissions and your requests and whatever. We will be honoring those, inshallah. So I've just pulled up the Kahoot. I'm opening it up right now. So everyone who's watching right now, please go to kahoot.it, and we are going to jump into the next Kahoot session. 2 winners today. I wonder what they're going to win. I still have not decided yet. Oh, Hanar, your notes haven't been working. Yes, please do look into it after Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, I've been able to do so, but make sure you send a quick message to us if you can't print your notes or you can't download your notes or save them. So I'm quickly going to share my screen, and oh, it still shows the password. I hate when it does that. So I'll share my screen so you guys can see what the questions are coming in and what the pin is. For those of you who are already listening, it's 6594978. That is the pin. 6594978 on Kahoot. This will be our 4th last Kahoot game of Ramadan 360. Because you guys have been giving, again, that feedback, inshallah, we'll consider putting in some more quiz elements and things like that. Not even consider, we have been trying to work towards that, but it's not as fun as this. This is fun because it's live and it's interactive and we can compete with each other for khair, as I hope that we've all been doing this month. Yasser Joes, Madiha, KPY, Ahmed K, Gracielle, Ruru, or Gracielle. I remember Sheikh Hamar one time pronounced your name correctly and I thought he had messed it up. Is it Gracielle or Gracielle? I'm going to ask you like a million times. Amina, nice to see you. Who is that? Tasnia and Fadliha. You cannot team up and you can't do 2 people in one. That's cheating. Although teamwork, I guess, I mean, fair enough. As long as you don't win, I hope that you guys can use your skills. Abdul Wahab Eddie, Yassine. That's sneaky. At least you were honest enough to put it in the titles, mashallah. Awesome sauce. I'll wait until we get to, I think, 45 people, and then we'll get started, inshallah. Oh, Hadija, you say, wow, Faith Essentials replaced your Netflix and Amazon Video. MashaAllah. Honestly, mine is correct. Gracia, why did you say last time that it was him getting it correct? I was feeling like so proud of myself. And then he said, oh, no, I got it right. He said like, gracias, gracial. I was like, wow, alhamdulillah. Albik, keep us in your ta'az. Always, always. You're already on a course, mashallah. No Kahoot for me. Oh, no. I can't end up playing Kahoot for 83 years. That's fair. That's fair. May Allah accept your ibadah, Albik. Please keep us in the du'as for sure. I'll let you go, inshallah, for this time and actually for the rest of Ramadan. But inshallah, you benefit from the quizzes we eventually introduce to the portal. Oh, there's 50 people on. Let's get started with the game. I hope that you guys are ready to go, ready to rumble. 2 winners for today's game, inshallah. 1 out of 10. When this person gave money, he would never count it. Who was it? It was Imam Shafi'i. Was it Uthman radiyallahu anhu? Was it Omar radiyallahu anhu? Or was it Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu? I'm so used to saying it the way that I learned as a child, so it's really hard for me to say it differently. Radiyallahu anhu, I know is the right, but like the accent comes out with the way that I used to say it as a child. 24 answers on this clock, 38 seconds left in the game itself. Those of you who aren't participating, feel free to chime in the chats on Facebook and YouTube and let us know what you think the answer is. Please don't forget, especially those of you who are in time zones where it is the 27th night, take the opportunity to support our sponsors at ICNA Relief in the USA. MashaAllah, they've been doing such amazing work. And I don't ask you guys, I would feel embarrassed if I had asked you and I had not shown that same support. So I always try to make sure that I support those organizations who are supporting us. And I hope that you join me, inshallah, in that. I truly believe that it makes me so happy to see a large Muslim organization doing so much good on the front lines of COVID and taking care of the community, mashallah. The correct answer is Imam Shafi'i. So 8 people got that correct. I know that would trip people up. That almost tripped me up as well. I knew like Uthman or Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu would be trippy, but mashallah, that 8 people really knew the answer. Amina, mashallah, on the front spot. Look at you participating so much today and at the jump of this at the highest part of the scoreboard as well. Arif H, Heavy, nice to see you. Ummi, mashallah, and Khalid. Yes, it's Khalid. Mashallah, on the scoreboard. Let's see. The last 2 verses of Surah Baqarah are recited for protection. I wonder if this is the Khalid with the 2 Kaabas. MashaAllah, very unique ways of writing your name and getting attention on your name. 53 seconds left on the clock, 25 answers left to go. True or false are the last 2 verses of Surah Baqarah recited for protection. Who knows the last 2 verses of Surah Baqarah? Speaking of memorization, I know that was one of the things that was suggested to memorize. Let's see if anyone has got Abu Bakr. Someone said on Facebook that was not the correct answer. Good try though, mashallah. What is the annual subscription fee for Faith Essentials? So generally for annual, it's $140 right now, and that has been reduced as well. That's been reduced significantly, alhamdulillah. It started off, I think, close to 200. The more people that join, the more people that benefit from the platform, the more we can lower the fees and the more that we can ensure that we have more content, more creative content, and more things like Ramadan 360 and stuff like that. We have so many big plans, inshallah, for the platform. It just depends on how much love and how much support we get for them as well. On the other end, and the correct answer is true. 57 people, mashallah, got that correct. Let's see. Oh, a quick switch up. Arif jumped up and swapped with Amina. Amina, you still have a chance because there's 2 prizes today. Heavy, Umi, and Khalid, mashallah, holding firm to their spots. Luis jumped 44 places, mashallah. Look at that. How many gates are in Jannah? 3 out of 10. Are there 12 gates? Are there 7? Are there 8? Are there 1? May Allah allow us to enter through all of them. Ameen. 19 answers on the clock, 51 seconds left. Sorry, 19 answers and 51 seconds on the clock. Let's see if anyone else is getting these answers correct. MashaAllah. Okay. I really am so excited to spend Eid. I was thinking of doing a Faith Essentials, like just we did the virtual iftar with sisters. That was so fun. I will never forget the faces and the names of the sisters that took the time to get involved in it. Hannah, who was it? Fadwa, Janabu, mashallah. It was such a pleasure. I was thinking of doing a Faith Essentials Eid party, but I don't know what we would do. We could do like games or activities or whatnot, but I feel like you guys have had enough of that. I don't know. Let me know if you have any suggestions or a request for what you would want to do specifically for Faith Essentials on Eid. And the Ramadan 360 group, of course, if you have any suggestions or requests, if you actually want to do something or you just want to spend time with your family, let us know. We'll respond to what you're requesting. 8 is the correct answer. People got really tied up. 7 and 8, mashallah. 8 is the correct answer. And I'm glad that a lot of you got that correct as well. Heavy jumped up to the top. Heavy, I'm sure you've won. Actually, I'm definitely sure you've won before. Mashallah, you've been on the scoreboard several times. So then Arif and Rakshi's also won. Zainab, Amina still on the board. Mashallah, up 30 places. Nashreen is the highest climber. Congratulations, Nashreen, 4 out of 10. Save yourself and your families from hellfire, whose fuel is mankind, and stones is stated in which surah? Is it Surah Al-Kahf? Is it Surah At-Tahrim? Is it Surah Baqarah? Or is it Surah Naba? Which is the correct surah? 14 answers in. Is that a little trippy? I hope that you guys were attending the sessions. You would hopefully have a better luck with that one as well. Let's see who's participating. Ooh, who's Alanita is watching from Cebu. Oh my God, I'm so bad at this. Philippines, mashallah. I hope to visit the Philippines one day as well. I have my next so many travel plans for, inshallah, planned for the end of this quarantine, subhanallah. Even mid-quarantine, I had some plans. My next big dua, and the one I'm making for the next few days, is another Umrah, inshallah. We had the honor of doing an Umrah with Dar es Salaam that had Sheikh Mahmoud Faqih, Sheikh Omar, Sheikh Walid, and Sheikh Hasib. Sheikh Hasib is going to be joining us tonight, actually, for our dua session. This is going to be so exciting. We have Sheikh Hasib, we have Sheikh Omar, and Sheikh Majid, some of the most emotional and most intense and great storytelling and poetic personalities, inshallah, for our dua series. At-Tahrim was the correct answer. 19 people got that correct. Wow, a lot of people got flipped up with Surah Baqarah, got mixed up a little bit. But mashallah to 19 of you who got it correct. Heavy, Arif H, Aisha, and Amina, mashallah, on the board. And 6 players just hit answer 3. Congratulations to the 6 of you. There is plenty of time for you to jump onto the top of the board. Babul Rahma is a gate in Jannah. Is that true or false? Let's see who gets that correct. But what was I saying? Yes, I know I've said this story a million times now. It's like literally the best thought that was answered for me last year. And I just cannot be more grateful for it. SubhanAllah, I'm so glad I got the opportunity to go before this coronavirus. And I hope that everyone who's hoping and praying and saving to go on Umrah and Hajj gets the opportunity as soon as possible, inshallah, to live their dreams and to visit the holy cities in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ameen. Keep making those du'as. It was the most random du'a. I had no money, no hope, no nothing for it when I made it, and it just materialized out of nowhere, alhamdulillah. So, and Dar es Salaam, I'm so excited for the winner of this challenge. Just generally, that is like, honestly, I don't think I'll ever go to Umrah or Hajj. If I can afford it, if I can manage it, I probably won't ever go without them, because that was just like, I felt like I was in heaven. SubhanAllah. Wow, so many of you got that correct. 40. Oh no, I got flipped up. It's 21 of you got it correct. 40 of you, jazakumullah khair for the strong effort. I guess that was a bit of a trip up. Aisha is on the front, is on the first spot, mashallah now. Now Aisha, imagine if 2 Aishas win this Kahoot, that'd be funny. Amina, mashallah, jumping up. Heavy and Arif H, some familiar names jumping onto the board. Guys, you see the switch up? There is still plenty of times. 3 players just hit answer streak 4. Let's have a look. 6 out of 10 is, what is Jannah? That's a beautiful question. Is it salvation? Is it eternal reward for living a righteous life? Is it the ultimate form of reward, or is it all of the above? Salvation. That's a little trippy. I hope that you guys were attending Sheikh Suleiman Hani's lecture, and that would give you your answer. Let's see what people are saying. Okay. Tricky question. Can we get more info on the degree program for Al-Maghrib? So Al-Maghrib, because it's separate, and this is Faith Essentials and R360, it's such a long answer, I won't get a chance to do just that. But you can give a call in or send an email to info@almaghrib.org about the degree program for Al-Maghrib. We're looking to do one for Faith Essentials if we have enough students on and enough support, inshallah, for it. Sheikh Suleiman, mashallah, like, I don't want to talk him up too much because I know he never talks up himself, though. He is the Dean of Academics, or the Director of Academics for Al-Maghrib. So he's the one planning all this stuff, mashallah. So he's working with us at Faith Essentials to put that stuff together. All of the above was the correct answer. Mashallah, that most of you got it correct. I hope I didn't confuse anybody with my interjections. Let's see what the scoreboard looks like. Wow. Aisha and Aisha, Amina, Hamid are making a jump, Sarah making a jump. Wow, I wonder if it's the same Aisha or the same Aisha's. Like, you guys are literally 5 but 10 spots away, mashallah. 6 players have hit answer streak 3. 7 out of 10, Allah's mercy descends in the last third of the night, which means we should pray tahajjud, pray fajr on time, pray all your prayers on time, or none of the above. So yes, tonight is going to be a story time. They have a beautiful name for it, and I always forget these names. Once the session, the Kahoot ends, inshallah, I will let you guys know. For those who are asking how to sign up, you just go to faith.essentials.online to sign up. However, life hack right now, just for you right now, because LaunchGood is ending in a couple days. If you sign up and you pay for the $120 donation amount on LaunchGood, you get a 1-year subscription to Faith Essentials automatically. So you'll save some money on Faith Essentials and you get to support us anyways. I do encourage, I don't think I was supposed to say that, but it's a life hack and it's super, so do it. Go to LaunchGood and Guardians of Knowledge, and then you can support us and get Faith Essentials as well. Pray tahajjud was the correct answer. 49 people got that correct. Let's have a look. Aisha, and Amina, Sarah R, and RFH still, mashallah, going back and forth on the board. 5 players have reached answer streak 4. Mashallah, you 5 are really keeping it together. Before it was moved to Mecca, the Qibla was towards, was it Medina? Was it Mecca? Was it Yathrib? Or was it Palestine? Let's see who gets that correct. But yes, if you guys don't mind on Faith Essentials, because I realize we've had questions about this and we just haven't had a chance to remind people since the community. Now we're at 11,000 in the Ramadan 360 Facebook group community. And mashallah, it's been like so bittersweet seeing some of your sweet messages, some of the beautiful, kind things that you've written that I haven't even had a chance to get back to. May you please forgive me for not being able to do so. There's just not enough hours in the day between doing Ramadan 360 and then doing about that night. I feel like the 24-hour clock is too small. But I read your comments and I love them and I make dua for you all. But yes, if you guys don't mind, I'll be showing people just how to navigate Faith Essentials, how to check out the portal. I didn't even show you half of my favorite courses. Inshallah, Faith Essentials as well. I would love for us to discuss which courses are like really like the most popular, the best gems that you've found and stuff like that, because some things hit me different and I wish I just explored some courses earlier. 43 people got the correct answer on that one. Wow, Aisha, you guys are really, I hope this is not the same person. I feel like it isn't, but wow, mashallah. Amina, Sarah R, and RFH, mashallah. And Sabila A is making a comeback with 3 in a row. I wonder if the 5 players lost their streak. Who was the Sahaba who had the first dream about, I can't see the rest of that, about the wording of the adhan? Was it Abdullah ibn Masud? Was it Abdullah ibn Omar? Was it Bilal al-Habashi? Was it Abdullah ibn Zayd? Radiyallahu anhuma. Let's see, 46 seconds left, 24 answers. I'm just checking the Facebook and the YouTube to make sure that you guys are getting some of those answers as well. Chicago, US, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. That's amazing to see. Okay. I'm sorry, that's coming in from YouTube. Was it, once again, oh wow, 51, a lot of people answered, mashallah, you joined after we started. So I'm glad that you got the opportunity. Oh, I haven't even picked the course, and I think it's like the second last question. What course? Abdullah ibn Zayd. I'm gonna have to stall a little bit. Wow, that was very close. A lot of people were tied almost on several options, mashallah. Congrats to those of you who got it. Let's see if that, ooh, what a switch up. So Aisha still in the front, Sarah R in second place, Aisha, Amina, and Taznia and Fabliha joining together, doing that duo situation, mashallah. 4 players just hit answer streak 4. Is this the last question? I don't think it is. There's one more, alhamdulillah. What does the term ruku mean? Throwback to the Sweetness of Salah finale. I'm praying and hoping that we can get that as an individual course. I could take that course a million times and I would drag definitely all my siblings and definitely a lot of my friends to it if it came to our city. What a blessing. I'm so sad. I didn't even know it was a 1-link course. Otherwise I would have attended it. So ruku means, does it mean saying salam at the end of the prayer? Does it mean bowing down? Does it mean prostration? Or does it mean reciting the tashahhud? I am actually so jealous of whoever it was in the group. Mashallah, not jealous. I'm very pleased that you mentioned that you live in Bermuda. The staff has gotten so excited since someone suggested that they live in Bermuda and that we could do a staff retreat or we could do something, we could visit there. I am looking at ticket prices right now myself and praying, inshallah, after Ramadan, after COVID. So there's so many little things. It's so funny. We all, like, sometimes someone will share something in the Ramadan 360 group, or someone will say something on the Faith Essentials Zoom, and I'll take a quick picture. I'm like, oh, someone just said this, and I'll be like, oh my God, that's so cool, or oh, that's so smart. You know, we're all just as much nerds for the knowledge as you are. So may Allah reward you for all the inspiration that you've been giving us. Bowing down was the correct answer. So we're looking at the podium. I still haven't picked the course that we're going to be giving away. Aisha is in third place. Has this Aisha ever won? Aisha, can you let me know? If so, I'll post on the group if there's spots up to be taken. Sarah R is in second place and Aisha is in first place. I'm so confused right now. I hope it's two different Aishas. Congratulations to the both of you, or to all of you who, if it is. Now, Sarah R and Aisha, please reach out to me at Hafsa, Hafsah, @almaghrib.org, or DM me on Facebook. Take a quick picture of your screen right now that shows that you're in first or second place, inshallah, so I know. And your prize is going to be, what will it be? We've given away Protect This House. We've given away Transformed. We've given away As You Are, Behind the Scenes. What should their prize be? I'll let you guys pick it very quickly before we close off the night. What should it be? I didn't get a lot of suggestions. I do want to give one of you Transformed. So I'll give you the choice between, complicated. I love complicated. Okay, so let's do complicated or transformed. I'll give you guys the option to pick between those two courses. And inshallah, congratulations to you both for participating and for holding and fighting for that first spot, inshallah. For as a quick reminder, we have our amazing 27th night programming tonight happening. And tonight is going to be, once again, Date with Destiny, most remarkable dua stories. So they'll be sharing dua stories as well as making live duas so you can join in and get some inspiration with Sheikh Omar Shukri, Sheikh Hasib Noor, and Sheikh Majid Mahmoud. Tune in at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and join in with the fun with us. I might go in live. We don't know. Maybe in the Facebook group. I want to share. I have so many dua stories. Even giving sadaqah has allowed me to answer so many of my duas this Ramadan. I hope that you guys support, once again, ICNA Relief in the USA in the link in the bio. It's icnarelief.org, and show them some love this Ramadan. And I'm so excited. I might go live. Let's see if you guys are down for that. Which course was I Am Her? That was Usada Damia. Is available online? Not yet, but the more people support the LaunchGood campaign, online courses, guys, are so expensive to make. So if you guys can keep us in your du'as as well, and you can support us on LaunchGood, inshallah, a lot of you, mashallah, have already done that. May Allah accept it from you and make it so heavy on your scale of deeds. We hope that, inshallah, after this whole craziness is over, at least we can continue to provide you a lot of online content in the meantime, and then we can rejoin and see you guys and re-meet you guys in person, inshallah. I love all the buzzing that's happening, inshallah, in the chat. Not inshallah, that's happening right now in the chat. Unfortunately, I can't keep up with you all. And I know a lot of you have been waiting for some time, and I'll end the session here, inshallah, and see you tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. This is the last day session for day 26 of Ramadan 360. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone.